After back-to-back wins over Bourne in the doubleheader yesterday, the Harbor Hawks are right back in the thick of things in the playoff race from the West Division. Today, they've weaved their way around 4th of July traffic and made the trek over the bridge to battle the Wareham Gatemen. Now, both these teams are coming off doubleheaders yesterday, but two completely different stories. Wareham lost 2 games out at the Eastern Division foe Harwich Mariners, while Hyannis, at home, won both their contests against the Bourne Braves. Those final scores, 6-4 in Game 1, 13-8 in Game 2, with 4 long balls from the Harbor Hawk offense propelling them to that Game 2 win. And today, against the Wareham Gatemen that sits first place in the West Division, first in team average, and can really swing the bat offensively, Hyannis is going to need that offense to be potent and well once again over the bridge in Wareham. It's Hyannis and the Gatemen on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. With that, we welcome you inside the broadcast. Lyle Goldstein, Brendan Howe here with you. Thank you so much for joining us here on this beautiful evening from Spillane Field. And Brendan, let's just talk about it again yesterday, because Hyannis, in what was, like we talked about, probably their most important day of the season yesterday, they win both games, rise above the challenge, and put themselves right back in the thick of the race for the playoffs.
They responded in such a big way yesterday, Lyle, and we talk about it so much. The power surge that we saw from these Hyannis bats was really something we haven't seen much of throughout the season. So for them to turn it around at the halfway point with still a long way to go and just 3 points out of a playoff spot now, a lot of time to make up that ground, and pretty easily as well.
And again, the 4 home runs that propelled it yesterday. Hackenberg with a 3-run shot. That came back in the bottom of the second inning. It was after that first inning, it was just kind of a home run train. So again, Hackenberg in the second, Jared DeSantillo with a solo shot in the third, Jordan Westberg with a 2-run shot in the fourth, and then Hunter Goodman with a 3-run shot in the fifth. They were just piling on and on.
And it just didn't stop. It seemed like everyone that came up to the plate got something good to hit and barreled it up well. Hunter Goodman, of course, with his 4th home run. He's now second in the league in RBIs with 18. He's been racking them up. Of course, Jordan Westberg at the top of the lineup. He's been a great addition for this Hyannis ball club, obviously. He's put up 3 home runs in as many games. So we'll see what this offense has in store for us tonight here in Wareham.
Now to look from the offensive side and go over to the pitching side. Again, 2 pretty different stories. Hyannis sending out Trevor DeLate to make his first start and first appearance on the summer with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. He played 2 summers in the West Coast League for the Bellingham Bells out in Washington. But here he is on the elbow of Massachusetts, set to make his first start. Now, DeLate had a really good year in 2019. 21 appearances, 2.12 ERA, 7 saves. And he's going up against Brandon Fott out of Bellarmine, a D2 school. Now, Fott has had nothing but success here on Cape Cod. He's making his 5th appearance, 2nd start, and he threw 15 scoreless innings to start the year, and his ERA is minuscule to this point. So we could be in for a good one tonight, but it's kind of experience versus dipping your feet in the water a little bit.
And it's going to be interesting to see what DeLate has to offer tonight for Hyannis. The first start, obviously, on Cape Cod tonight. But as you mentioned, he had a pretty good year at Maine. So we'll see what he has in store for us tonight. We got a good outing last night from Glen Albanese in Game 1 of the doubleheader. And then the pitching staff followed suit in Game 2. They did enough to hold down a pretty good lineup from the Bourne Braves. So we'll see. The Gateman lineup, very potent offensively as well. So it's going to be a tough task again tonight.
Over the bridge from Spillane Field, Hyannis and Wareham set to square off in just about 5 minutes. We'll take a quick break for the national anthem and bring you back for lineups and first pitch on the other side of the break. Hyannis and Wareham on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We bring you back from Spillane Field. First pitch just about to get set underway from Spillane Field. It's Hyannis and Wareham. Third matchup of 6, second of 3 from Spillane Field between the two ball clubs as Jordan Westberg will dig in from the right side against the righty Brandon Fott. He kicks and deals. First pitch fastball, good for a strike. We're underway. 6:32, the first pitch time here in Wareham. Bright and sunny day with some scattered clouds throughout the sky. Offering from Fott, swinging a looper into short center field. In comes Ward. It drops in front of him for a base hit. Picking right up where he left off, Jordan Westberg make it 8 for his first 11 in a Harbor Hawk uniform. And the leadoff man's aboard for the Harbor Hawks in the top of the first.
All this guy does is hit. I mean, he came into the evening 7 for his first 10. You just mentioned picking up that base knock right there, 8 for his first 11. An on-base machine at the top of the order, and once again, doing the job.
So Anthony Servideo, the number 2 hitter. He'll be followed by Trevor Hover in the 3 spot, Hunter Goodman hitting cleanup, and Jared DeSantolo, Rowdy Jordan, Edward Julian, Chad McDaniel, and Mitch McIntyre. Pitch to Servideo, good for a strike, and it's 0-1. So Brandon Fott, the 6'3", 220-pound righty out of Louisville, Kentucky, plays a school ball at Bellarmine College, a Division II school in the Great Lakes Valley Conference, as Servideo chops one on the ground over the head of the first baseman Teeter into right field. Jordan around second. He's thinking third. That's Westberg. Servideo slides into second and gets under the tag. A double for Anthony Servideo as he bounces a ground ball over the first baseman Teeter. Gave a leaping effort, couldn't bring it down, and it skips into right field. Jordan Westberg sliding in at third. Servideo in at second. And in the blink of an eye, Hyannis is rallying in the top of the first.
And this offense picking up right where they left off, scoring 13 in a shortened doubleheader game last night against Bourne. And when you're hot, you're hot. Servideo just found the hole over the first baseman's head, Teeter.
Brings up Trevor Hover. He played one of the 2 games in the doubleheader yesterday. Pitch. Good for a strike. Fastball hits the outer black. So again, Fott. D2 ball player. Plays in the Great Lakes Valley Conference at Bellarmine College. Put up a 4.03 ERA in 38 innings pitched in 2019. Only started 2 games, and this is his second start in a Wareham uniform. Offering down low, the catcher Beaver lets it skip to his left, but not far enough to advance Westberg home. Wareham defense tonight. Left to right in the outfield, Tora Otsuka, Braden Ward, Matt McLean. And left to right in the infield, Chad Stevens, Benjamin Sems, Darren Baker, and Jacob Teeter. Battery one more time, Dallas Beaver behind the plate, and the righty Brandon Fott on the mound. Already 2 in scoring position, 0-0 the score. Pitch to Hover, fastball runs away. So 2-1 count. Hover played in game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday. 0 for 3 along with a walk. Then got a game off in game 2. The offering in. Fastball up high, it's 3-1. Of course, Hover no stranger to walking. He's already walked 15 times on the summer. Him and DeSantolo each have 15. That's tied for 3rd in the league. Fought the stretch in the 3-1. Swinging a fly ball out to fairly deep right field. It takes McLean back, but it'll get the job done. He makes the catch coming a little bit in. Westberg's going to cruise home from third. Servideo advances to third. And Trevor Hover puts the Harbor Hawks on the board with a sacrifice fly. It's 1-0 Hyannis in the top of the first.
Well, that one gets the job done again for Trevor. Just took a fastball in the inner half of the plate, turned on it, sent it to fairly deep right field, although he just got under it. Now McLean had to retreat back toward the wall a few steps, and by that point, plenty deep enough for Westberg to trot home.
So now Hunter Goodman, the hitter. One of 4 guys to hit a home run in game 2 yesterday. Offering it's up high. And Goodman's really starting to skyrocket himself up toward the top of a few different Cape Cod leader categories. He's second in RBIs with 18. As he swings and misses through a fastball, it levels the count. Second in RBIs. He's also tied for second in home runs with 4. Austin Wells of YD leads both those categories. Now the 1-1 from Fott. Swinging a line drive out to left center field over his Ward. It's going to get down in the gap. Servideo walks home from third. Goodman's going to stop at first as he puts on the brakes between first and second. but he picks up an RBI single. It's now 2-0 Hyannis in the top of the first. You said it, Brendan. They're picking up right where they left off.
And so is Goodman. I mean, he came into tonight's second in the league in RBIs and picking up another one right there and getting Hyannis out to a 2-0 lead. And this offense has been clicking on all cylinders the past couple of nights.
So here comes another guy who's been clicking all summer. Jared DeSantalo, the hitter. Talking league ranks again, second in average. He's up to 370 on the season. Fought ready, the first offering. It's down low, a little bit to Beaver's right as it was spiked in the dirt, but no advancement from Goodman. So already 2-0 Hyannis the score. And this is something that Brandon Fott really isn't too used to here in this 2019 summer for Wareham. He's been so effective up to this point. But Hyannis knocking him around in the first. Offering slapped foul on the ground to the right side. Again for Fott, this is his 5th appearance, second start of the summer. But coming into today, he had given up just one earned run. Just one, and in fact, his first 15 innings of the season were scoreless. An 0.56 ERA in 16 innings pitched entering today's play. He comes set right at the letters, peeks at Goodman at first with a short lead, fires home. Upstairs and away, 2 balls, 1 strike. So Hyannis has already doubled the amount of earned runs he's given up on the season. Or rather, they've tripled it. 3 earned runs now in 2019 with the 2 spot here in the first. Offering, breaking ball misses away. It's 3-1. So again, DeSantalo, a guy who works a lot of counts, much like Hauver. Trevor put Hyannis on the board first with a sacrifice fly 2 batters ago. Then the Hunter Goodman RBI single made it 2-0. Fott throws over to first, back safe with a head first dive is Goodman. And for Hunter, who now stands at first, he's recorded RBIs in what's been 6 of his last 7 starts, including today. Fott ready the 3-1. Swing and a miss from DeSantalo at the top of the zone, and the count swells full. The last time Hyannis came to Wareham, they put up just 1 run. Wareham picked up their 2nd win of the season over these Harbor Hawks. They're 2-0 in the series, but Hyannis has jumped all over them in the top of the first. Goodman gave a look to second, throw back to first, and back safely. So Fott stepped off the mound, gave a quick pickoff as Goodman gave a step or 2 towards second, but he slides back in head first, no problem. 3-2 to DeSantalo with 1 down. Pitch, Goodman takes off, swung on, and fouled back. So Goodman will walk back to first. DeSantalo keeps the count at 3-2. So Goodman, with that RBI just a minute ago, has now tied the lead on the Cape. Him and Austin Wells both sit at 19 in 2019. 3-2. Swing and a line drive foul into the stands down the left field line. So DeSantalo fights one off to stay alive. He'll step out of the box. Stare down the lumber of his bat for just a second. And now starts to dig back in. Throw back to first. Goodman back safely. Now the 3-2. Swing and a fly ball out to center field. Braden Ward coasting back. He's got a beat on it. And he makes the grab. Goodman back to first as Ward had it in his tracks, moving back, maybe a step to his left. And he puts it away for the 2nd out. Now Rowdy Jordan, the hitter. Switch hitting center fielder digs in from the left side. So Hyannis up 2-0 here. Jordan, the 6th man to the plate of the inning. He comes off a 1-for-3 day yesterday in game 2. As time's called, Fott's going to reset as well as Rowdy Jordan. The infield playing pretty much straight up. Shortstop Sem shifted a little bit to his left and toward the second base bag. Pitch from Fott, it's up high. So Fott has had it working, at least up to this point in the summer. Tough inning here in the top of the first, but he's been so dominant out of the Wareham bullpen this season. Pitch in, down low, 2 balls, no strikes. That one in the dirt and gloved up by the catcher, Dallas Beaver. So once again, Fott an 0.56 ERA coming into today's start. He's also tied for 10th in the league in strikeouts. Offering, called strike at the top of the zone. 2-1 the count to Rowdy Jordan. In that game, too, yesterday, he singled and scored in the 5th. Also was hit by a pitch and scored in the 4th. Throw back to first from Fott. Goodman back no problem with a head first dive. So Wareham's won the last 2 contests once again. 10-1 in game 1, or rather in game 2, 12-5 game 1. Jordan checks his swing and sends it foul on the ground back toward the Hyannis dugout. Looked like he was maybe trying to get out of the way of it a little bit, but ball just found the right spot at the top of his barrel. Now the count evens to 2-2 with 2 down. Deuce is wild as it's 2-0 Hyannis in the top of the first. The right-hander Fott out of Bellarmine comes set, gives Goodman a peek, comes home. Swing and a pop-up left side on the infield. This will take Stevens in. He makes the catch, hugging the line for the final out of the inning. But Hyannis makes a statement early in the top of the first inning. A Trevor Hauver sac fly and a Hunter Goodman RBI single makes it 2-0 Harbor Hawks through half a frame of play. For Hyannis in the inning, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, 1 left on. We'll go to the bottom of the first when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Trevor Delate, the left-hander out of the University of Maine, toes the rubber, set to make his first start and first appearance in a Hyannis uniform in 2019. The lefty out of Maine set to face the left-handed hitting Washington Husky Braden Ward. First pitch, swing and a line drive out to left center. This takes Rowdy Jordan in a bit to his right. He makes the grab, and with 1 pitch, there's 1 away for the lefty Trevor Delate. So Ward lines out to begin the bottom of the first inning. They'll bring up Darren Baker, the second of 5 straight lefties in the Wareham order. The rest of the Gateman lineup tonight, Baker hitting second, Jacob Teeter hitting third, Adrian Del Castillo doing the cleanup duties, followed by Dallas Beaver, Matt McLean, Benjamin Sems, Chad Stevens, and Tora Otsuka. The lefty Delate fires home. It misses down and away. So Trevor Delate just finished up his 2019 season out in Orono, Maine. A 2.12 ERA. As he fires home a fastball, it's inside. Once again, 34 innings pitched. 1-2 record with that low 2.12 ERA. Also 7 saves, which led the team. Offering. Fastball good for a strike. Count runs to 2-1. And his strikeout to walk rate was about as good as one could ask for. 10 walks, 41 punchouts. He fires home one inside and a bit high. It takes Baker out of the left side of the box. And the count moves to 3 balls, 1 strike. Baker comes into today hitting .324. Lefty DeLate fires home. Fastball on the outside corner. It's 3-2. So Hyannis put up their 2 spot in the top of the first. And now they're looking to play some clean defense and keep that lead. 3-2. On the outside corner, strike 3, and it hits the bottom of the zone as well. Trevor DeLate his first Cape League strikeout as he freezes Darren Baker for the second out of the inning.
How well did he spot up that fastball, huh? Pinpoint location at the knee level of Baker that time, and Baker thought it was ball forward, thought it was a tad low, but not the case, and DeLate picking up his first strikeout.
So he looked really sharp in that last at bat, battled back from that 3-1 count. Now set to face Jacob Teeter as he misses down. Defensive alignment for Hyannis tonight. Left to right in the outfield, Trevor Hauver, Rowdy Jordan, Mitch McIntyre. Same way around the infield. Edward Julian, Jordan Westberg, Anthony Servideo, and Jared DeSantolo. Pitch home, fastball down, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Chad McDaniel behind the plate doing the catching tonight. And one more time, the lefty out of Maine, Trevor DeLate, up on the bump. 2-0 Hyannis with 2 down. Offering, swinging a line drive over the head of Servideo. That's going to fall into right center field, a base hit. Teeter stops at first, and he picks up a 2-out single for Wareham in the bottom of the first inning. His 26th hit of the season brings up the cleanup man, Adrian Del Castillo.
Well, Teeter, one of the hotter bats in the Gateman lineup this season so far. A .329 hitter coming into tonight. Just took an inside pitch from DeLate, fought it off the inside part of the bat, and blooped it into right center.
Now the hitter, Del Castillo, out of Miami. Swings away and lines one into right center field. Rowdy Jordan moving over. He can't make the play. It's in the gap. Fielded on a hop. Teeter going first to third. He'll stop right there. Ball gets back into the infield to Jordan Westberg at second base. But back-to-back hits for the Gatemen in the bottom of the first have put runners on the corners, and Wareham now putting together a little rally of their own. The Del Castillo just squares one up to right center. Rowdy Jordan, some good speed in the outfield, but couldn't quite get there in time. Thought about giving a dive, then eased up at the last second. Didn't want to give a do-or-die play and take the risk of the ball getting by him, allowing Teeter to score. So as a result, runners on first and third. The 5th straight lefty in the order, Dallas Beaver, digs in. Catcher out of Central Florida, hitting .333 on the summer. Lefty DeLate steps off. Back to the bag at first is Adrian Del Castillo. So DeLate got Braden Ward to fly out on 1 pitch. Struck out Darren Baker. Now giving up 2 straight singles. Offering up high, and it's 1-0. So Wareham has a lot of bats, and they're sprayed throughout the order. 6 players on the roster hitting .300 or better to this point. Offering from DeLate. Line drive up the middle. Servideo can't make the play on the backhand. He had no chance at it as it gets into center field. RBI single for the Gatemen as the 3rd straight 2-out single comes from Dallas Beaver and plates Jacob Teeter from third. It's 2-1 Hyannis in the bottom of the first.
Well, you mentioned the 6 300 hitters in the lineup. Beaver's one of them. Took a fastball low in the zone. DeLate tried to go back down there where he picked up the strikeout to Darren Baker earlier in the frame, but Beaver, having none of it, sent it right back up the middle for an RBI.
So now steps the first right-handed hitter, Matt McClain, an infielder by trade. He's out in right field tonight. DeLate will check the runner at second, fires home, swing and a miss. So Del Castillo just moved up 90 feet on the last play. But Jacob Teeter scored easily from third as he just cruised home 90 feet. Infield back with 2 outs. No hold from DeSantolo at first on the runner Dallas Beaver. Of course, he has nowhere to go with Del Castillo in front of him at second. Pitch down low. That skips to the left of the catcher, McDaniel, and the runners are going to advance. Wareham has a pair in scoring position now with Del Castillo at third, Dallas Beaver up to second. And after those 2 quick outs from Trevor DeLate, he's worked himself into a bit of a jam. Already given up one so far. That was the RBI Dallas Beavers single. But he looks to further keep the Wareham Gatemen off the board and preserve this Harbor Hawk lead. Currently sits at 2-1. The lefty DeLate fires home. Good fastball on the inner part of the plate, and it's 1-2. DeLate standing at 6'1", 180 pounds. Matt McLean, the right-handed hitting Wareham Gateman bat, digs back in. One of only two righties along with Chad Stevens. Offering, swing and a miss, down in the dirt. So Trevor DeLate minimizes damage in the bottom of the first, gives up the RBI single, but keeps an additional pair stranded on the bases. For the Gatemen in the inning, 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, 2 left on. It's 2-1 Hyannis through an inning of play, and we'll go to the second when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Edward Julian, the Auburn third baseman, set to lead things off in the top of the second for Hyannis. As the Harbor Hawks third baseman will dig in from the left side, the righty Brandon Fott back on the mound for inning number 2. He's ready to go as he works from the windup, fires home. Called strike, it's 0-1. So a little interesting in terms of the tactic from Fott. He works from the first base side of the rubber. Delivers home. Julian swings and grounds one to the right side. Baker a sliding stop, moving to his left, spins, throws, and he gets Julian at first. So a nice play from the Cal second baseman Baker. Had to move way to his left, made a sliding stop on the lip of the infield, rose to his feet quickly, made a strong throw to Teeter to retire Julian. Now McDaniel the hitter. He's also from the left side. Fott delivers home. Swinging a high pop-up into short left field. This will bring in Otsuka. He calls everybody off and makes the grab. Ward started to give chase to his right and coming in, but the left fielder Otsuka with the much easier play, and he snags it for the second out. So after the 2 spot that Fott put up in, or allowed in the top of the first, he's recorded 2 outs on the last 2 pitches, which will bring up left-handed hitting Mitch McIntyre. So Fott working out of the windup. He didn't have much of a chance to do that back in the first. Comes home. Fastball right at the bottom of the zone, strike 1. The Fott gave up the leadoff single to Jordan Westberg. He was all out of the stretch after that. Now with nobody on and 2 outs, he peers over the glove from the windup and delivers home. Breaking ball ripped into right field. In comes McLean, and it drops in front of him. Mitch McIntyre picks up a 2-out single as the ball's relayed back into the infield, and he's aboard here in the top of the second. So McIntyre saw an off-speed pitch up in the zone, and he squared it up. Shot it out to right field. McLean moving in and a bit to his left. He couldn't get there in time, however. So here comes Jordan Westberg. McIntyre a short lead at first. Fought out of the stretch, he comes home. Fastball good for a strike. So now is Westberg's 8 for his first 11. His average sits at 727. Of course, a very small sample size. He's been on some type of tear his first couple games. McIntyre takes off, swinging a pop-up from Westberg. This is behind the plate, chasing the catcher Beaver back. He's got a beat on it, and he makes the grab to end the inning. So for just the fourth time this summer, Westberg's retired, this time to end the inning. Through an inning and a half, it's Hyannis 2, Wareham 1. For the Harbor Hawks, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. We'll go to the bottom of the second when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Trevor DeLate back on the mound for inning number 2, as it'll be the hitter Benjamin Sems, the 7th man in the Wareham order, digging in from the left side. First pitch is swung on and hit to the right side through the 3-4 gap, a base hit. Sems hits the bag at first, he'll stay right there, and just like that, with 1 pitch, the Gatemen have their 4th hit of the night, and 4th hit in the last 5 batters dating back to the first. So Sems aboard. This will bring up Chad Stevens. He's the 3rd baseman out of the University of Portland. Hails from Fox Island, Washington. Meanwhile, the left-hander out of Bangor, Maine, Trevor DeLate, sets and fires. Down low with a fastball, it's 1-0. DeLate, dating all the way back to high school, was ranked the number 1 lefty in the state of Maine, number 4 overall player in the state. And he just put together his best season at school ball out in Orono, Maine, as he fires over to first with a B move, soft pickoff, and back standing up the runner, Benjamin Sems. Stevens comes into the day hitting .233, 7 runs batted in. Fires home, hit and run, swinging a high pop-up into right field. This will chase Sems back to first. McIntyre under it, moving to his right, makes the play. And there's 1 down here in the bottom of the second. So here comes Tora Otsuko. He's the number 9 hitter. And he represents one of those 6 bats hitting over 300. 324 as he digs in from the left side of the box. The southpaw DeLate still working from the stretch with the runner Sems at first. He had to charge back after that hit and run was failed from the hitter Chad Stevens. Now DeLate fires over to first, and Sems is back standing up again. So the Kansas product was taking off with the pitch. Stevens popped it into right field, an easy play for Mitch McIntyre, but it also gave Sems a lot of time to retreat back to the bag. DeLate sets, and now he fires over to first again. And Sems is back no problem. So DeLate keeping a close eye on the Kansas infielder. It's 2-1 Hyannis in the bottom of the second. A short lead from Sems at first, held on by DeSantalo. Big hole on the right side. DeLate fires home. Good fastball at the bottom of the zone. For Sems on the season, he swiped 2 bags. That's not anywhere close to comparison of Braden Ward, who stands on deck. DeLate fires over to, again, this gets over the head of DeSantalo, and it's going to skip down the line. Hitting the bag at second, Benjamin Sems, he's thinking 3. DeSantalo throws across the diamond, but it gets in late on a hop to Julian, and Sems stands in at third, advancing 2 bases and puts himself 90 feet away. So DeLate will go back to the mound. Now he has to worry about the tying run standing 90 feet away. Otsuka with an 0-1 count will start to step back in. Ward awaits on deck. He holds a Cape League high of 13 stolen bases this summer. Pitch to Otsuka, swinging a pop-up foul left side out of play. Tora hasn't stolen any bases, but he's certainly been an impactful bat in the Wareham lineup. 12 hits in 37 tries. 2 of them for extra bases, both doubles. DeLate, the left-hander, comes set with the infield back. Pitch up high. Edward Julian, the lone man on the infield, playing a bit in as he's even with the bag at third. Otsuka looking to tie the game up after Hyannis put up 2 in the first, none in the second. Wareham put up 1 in the first. Offering, swinging a ground ball left side. This will get the job done. Westberg comes in, throws the first on a hop, and safe at first, Otsuka with an infield single. So Sems scores from third, and this game's knotted up at 2-2. As that one was slapped to the left side, it easily scored Sems from third. Westberg tried to charge in, fielded on the glove side, and make a strong throw on the run. But it one hop to DeSantalo, and Otsuka beat it out down the line. Now it flips things back to the top for Braden Ward. He saw 1 pitch in his first at-bat and flew out to Rowdy Jordan. So Wareham now with 5 singles and not even the first 2 full innings. As Ward shows to bunt, pushes one down the first base line, fielded by DeSantalo. The ball comes in and out of his glove, and Ward beats it out. No throw to first base as that advances Otsuka to second, and now make it 6 Wareham singles as there's runners on first and second with 1 down, and Braden Ward records his first hit of the night.
Wareham just playing a lot of small ball tonight and not too much hard contact off DeLate, but doing what the Wareham needs to do to get the job done. Another runner in scoring position. That's Otsuka. Now the bunt single getting the job done.
Now in steps Darren Baker. DeLate working with runners at first and second comes home. Good fastball at the knees for a called strike. Baker's been one of 2 strikeout victims. He's been the only one looking thus far, as DeLate froze him earlier on in the ballgame, back in the bottom of the first, where he pinpointed a fastball low and away to ring up the Cal product. Now the offering down in the dirt. Runners hold as McDaniel spots it up and chests it behind the plate. So Baker looking to get something going. Comes off a .304 season average-wise at Cal. Now the pitch from DeLate. Swinging a pop-up foul out of play. Baker hitting even better than that this summer. .320 as he currently stands. And that first third of the Wareham order has been really, really strong. Ward with his speed. Baker also with a lot of speed. In fact, those 2 were the dynamic duo in the Pac-12. They led the conference in stolen bases. Offering, swinging a pop-up into short left field, taking Westberg out, bringing Hauver in, and nobody can make the play. It drops in front of Hauver. Everybody advances 90 feet, and now it's the bases loaded with 1 out for Wareham in the bottom of the second, as Darren Baker bloops a Texas League single into short left field, and nobody had a play at it.
All right there, a tough play. Westberg tried to go all the way from his shortstop position. Edward Julian looked like he slowed up a little bit as he saw Westberg coming out of the corner of his eye. Hauver, of course, charging in from left. He didn't have a play as he was playing a bit back. So some good placement from Darren Baker and a tough play for all 3 Hyannis fielders.
The DeLate could really use a ground ball out here. Bases loaded for Jacob Teeter. Pitch. Misses away off speed. And DeLate not a guy who's made a whole ton of starts. He didn't make any in 2019. He hasn't made one since his sophomore season for Maine during his school ball. Now he fires home. Breaking ball at the knees, good for a strike. And this is a kid who's played 3 seasons of summer ball, but he's never made a start in any summer. He's had 46 appearances in 3 different summers entering today, but no starts, all out of relief. Offering, line drive into left center field. That's going to split the gap and get down and roll a long way. 1 run scores, Ward around third, he's going to score. Hitting the burners around third, Darren Baker, and there's no play. Throw to third, tag applied, Julian, and sliding in safely, Jacob Teeter. A 3 RBI triple has blown it open for Wareham in the second. It's 5-2 Gateman. Jacob Teeter smashes one into the gap in left center field, the deepest part of the park here in Wareham, and it just rolled a long way. It didn't ever have a chance to get out. It wasn't one of those type of triples. It was just a line drive. Neither Rowdy Jordan or Trevor Hoover could get to it before it started to roll, and it got all the way to the fence out by the 412 sign, and it allowed every runner to score. Otsuka from third, Ward from second, and Baker from first. He was really running hard. Now with a runner on third, still 1 out, it brings up Adrian Del Castillo, who watches 1 high. So Hyannis struck first in the top of the first with the bats. But since then, 5 unanswered for the Wareham Gatemen. Pitch from DeLate, pop-up foul out of play.
And that's what this Wareham offense can do to you. They've been unbelievable all season long, hence why they're in first place in the Western Division. It's the offense that's carried them this far, and Jacob Teeter showing why, really splitting the gap there with that triple as he rounded the bases hard.
Now the offering from Trevor DeLate fouled it out of play again. Two for Wareham in the first. Or rather, 1 for Wareham in the first. 2 for Hyannis in the first. But 4 from the Gatemen here in the bottom of the second. Pitch to Del Castillo, down in the dirt. He briefly checks his swing and does not go around. It's 2-2. The Miami product, the 7th man of the plate this inning. And that was the first extra base hit for Wareham today. 7 singles before that Teeter 3 RBI triple. 2-2 from DeLate. Swinging a pop-up on the infield. Westberg calling everybody off, moving to his left, and he makes the grab just to his left of second base. Or rather, that brings back to third. And as he makes the catch, that brings back Teeter to third. It'll bring up Dallas Beaver. So DeLate gets a nice out. Just an easy pop-up for Jordan Westberg. Now with 2 down, he's set to face Beaver, who watches one just outside with an off-speed. The Gatemen had put together 1, 2, 3, 4 straight hits after that flyout from Chad Stevens. Now the offering squiggled foul behind the plate. The Teeter RBI triple looming large here in the bottom of the second frame. And again, a Wareham ball club that can really swing it. First in the Cape League in team average, first in hits. They've already put together a few here in this ball game. Pitch down, 2 balls, 1 strike. And one could argue it's more than a few. 3 in the first, 5 here in the second for a total of 8. Pitch from DeLate, swinging a fly ball out to deep left field. Hoover backtracking, still going, and now he settles under it and makes the catch about 15 feet in front of the fence to end the inning. But damage has been done for Wareham in the bottom of the second. 4 runs, the big one, a 3 RBI triple off the bat of Jacob Teeter. It makes it 5-2 Wareham through 2 frames. For the Gatemen in the inning, 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and a man left on base. We'll go to the third when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
As we bring you back to Spillane Field for action in the top of the third inning, it's Brandon Fod back to the mound for the Gateman. Working into his third inning of work, he'll be facing 2, 3, and 4 in the Hyannis order. Anthony Servideo, Trevor Hover, and Hunter Goodman. And his hometown Gatemen have gotten him a 3-run cushion to sit on. Wareham in front 5-2. Fires home a first pitch fastball to Servideo. It's in for a strike. It's 0-1. Anthony had one of 3 hits for Hyannis to lead off the ball game. He doubled and later scored. Watches another fastball outside from Fod to even the count. This Hyannis offense has come alive early on in the past couple games, starting yesterday against the Bourne Braves. Servideo watches a 1-1 breaking ball dropped in for a strike. Well, we mentioned Fod's minuscule ERA at .56 entering tonight's action. Trying to silence these Hyannis bats as we move into the third inning. Servideo chops one foul right side. The count stays put at 1-2. Trevor Hover and Hunter Goodman, the two men also set to hit in the inning, have also picked up a pair of RBIs. Fod kicks and fires a 1-2, breaking ball outside. The count evens. These Harbor Hawk bats have shot up the league-wide rankings. 4th in the league in hits. 5th in home runs with 14 as a 2-2's fired home. Servideo fouls it back out of play. Fod, a tough customer on the hill. Approaching the 40 pitch mark here in the third inning. Brings the glove over the head, another 2-2. Breaking ball in the dirt, the count fills. And for Servideo, it was a bit of a slow start upon his arrival here on Cape Cod, but he's turned it around, picking up 3 hits yesterday in the doubleheader. The 3-2, cut on a miss out of the glove, but fouled back. Beaver couldn't hold on to it. Servideo just getting a piece of it to stay alive. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the third from Spillane Field. 5-2, the Gateman with the edge. Fod checks off a couple of signs from his catcher. Now he's got one he likes. Into the windup, the payoff pitch. Fastball a bit low, and Servideo draws a leadoff walk here in the third. So Anthony tosses the leg guard toward the Hyannis dugout. Trevor Hover tosses it back a bit further to the bat boy, and now he'll step in.
Oh, we know Servideo can really work counts. He's done so pretty well since putting on the Harbor Hawk uniform. And another one right there. Reaches base for the second time tonight and gets something going for Hyannis in the third.
So Trevor steps in, launches a sac fly as he sends this one in the alley to left center. That's going to get down and continue to roll to the wall. Servideo around second. He's turning on around third. He's going to come into scores. Hover pulls up at second base with an RBI double. And Hyannis, just like that, clawing a bit closer. It's 5-3.
Well, he just wasted no time. Shot one into the gap, and of course it'll roll a long way here in Wareham. And Servideo, with his speed, scores all the way from first. And you know, Brendan, it's starting to seem like we might be in for another offensive shootout tonight. Already 8 runs here in the top of the third. Hover picks up his first RBI. And it looks like neither offense is looking to settle down anytime soon.
Well, we saw a couple of slugfests last night back at McKeon Park against the Bourne Braves, and that was an offense that struggled. Goodman watches a breaking ball down and away. But for Hyannis, we knew it was only a matter of time before these bats started to come around, and boy, have they ever in the past few nights or so. Goodman had a home run himself last night. Swings it at a 1-0 fastball, pops it up right side. That one will tail well foul out of play. So the count 1-1, 5-3. The Wareham lead has been cut down a bit by Hyannis. Trevor Hover resides in scoring position at second base. As Brandon Fod steps up the back of the hill onto the rubber. Goodman waving the bat toward him in from the right side. Fod a pause, now comes home. 1-1 fastball low and away. Out of the glove of Beaver as he moved to his right to corral it. No advance for Hover at second base. So Goodman with a 2-1 count. He's already picked up an RBI, his 19th of the season. Fod comes home, cutting a miss over the top of a breaking ball. The count levels 2 balls, 2 strikes to Hunter. The stretch of good weather here on Cape Cod has continued tonight at Spillane Field. Sun is out and shining, engulfing most of the outfield. Font kicks and deals a 2-2. It's outside. So the count fills up to Goodman. Anthony Servideo was able to work a full count. Now it's the right-handed hitting Memphis Tiger able to work himself in the same spot. Font comes home with a payoff pitch. Fastball, a chopper left side. The shortstop backhanding it. That's Sems. Fires across the diamond on one leg and gets Goodman. So Sems with a very strong throw off his back leg across the diamond to first base. Hopper stays put at second. That'll bring up Jared DeSantolo with one out.
Well, Goodman hit it in a spot where he had a chance to beat it out. Fairly deep in the hole, it's short, but the shortstop Sems makes a nice play on it. Not too much very fluid motion rather. Not too much over motion, as he makes the play pretty easily in a short transfer off the backhand.
The Font fires home the first pitch to DeSantolo out of the stretch. It's a fastball on the inside. A called strike one. And Jared picked up his first long ball of the summer last night. That went to dead center at McKeon Park over the 394 side. The 0-1. DeSantolo chopped one foul up just behind the plate as it deflected off the chest guard of Beaver. For the FAU Al DeSantolo down 0-2 as he steps out to adjust the gloves. 1 on, 1 down. Hyannis trying to rally back from a 2-run deficit as it currently stands now 5-3. Time called to the plate. DeSantolo takes 1 foot out of the box, now taps the plate as he steps back in rather quickly. Spot a pause, now comes home. DeSantolo swings and sends an 0-2 down the left field line, falling fast, and it's going to fall in fair. Harper's going to round third. He's churning for the plate. DeSantolo a wide turnaround first, but he'll scamper back. And just like that, it's a 1-run game again. DeSantolo picks up an RBI. It's 5-4.
Well, the offense keeps going, and Jared DeSantolo keeps going. And he's really swinging the bat well. There's his 21st hit of the summer. And he picks up his 4th RBI as well, scoring hover from second.
So Rowdy Jordan steps in. He'll take his place in the left-handed batter's box. Jared DeSantolo over at first base. He just brought home Trevor Hover. Check from Fond back to first base. In standing is Jared. This Hyannis offense, Lyle, doesn't seem like they mind playing from behind much. They've been doing a great job of playing catch-up and doing it well. They've cut this Wareham lead down to 1. Fond fires home. Swing from Jordan. He sends a fastball out of play off to the left. The first time we were here, the Gatemen took one going away. They won that one by a final score of 12-5. But Hyannis hanging tough here in the second time to Spillane Field. Santolo a very short lead over at first base. Fond checks him, now fires an 0-1. Fastball up at the letters. And the count levels at a ball into strike. Middle infielder shaded a bit toward the second base bag. Double play is in order with DeSantolo creeping up to a lead off of first base, held on by Teeter. Fond's 1-1. Fastball way up high. Beaver popping up out of the crouch to go get it. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jordan just a 118 hitter coming into action tonight. Van Gassman opting to slide him down in the order a bit. Fond turns and fires back to DeSantolo at first. He's in standing. Fond's pitch count up to 54 here in the 3rd inning. Right-hander sets and fires home. Fastball up and away again. Jordan in the driver's seat, 3-1. Some fans still filing in, finding their seats behind the Gateman dugout on the first baseline. Those bleachers extend next to the press box here at Spillane Field. Font spins and fires back before a 3-1. DeSantolo scampers back to the bag with a dive. And Lyle, the first time Hyannis visited Spillane Field, we talked about the uncharacteristic features this ballpark possesses. Font kicks and fires a 3-1. Jordan swings and sends it a high towering fly in the air to right. Coming on the right fielder McLean. He's under it. He'll make the grab. DeSantolo back to the bag at first. 2 down. That'll bring up Edward Julian. He's 0 for 1 tonight. Batting out of the number 7 spot. Hyannis trying to work some two-out rally magic. DeSantolo was aboard at first. Again, this offense cutting the lead down to 1. They entered this frame trailing 5-2. Meeting on the mound between Beaver and the right-hander Fod. Perhaps just going over how they want to attack the left-handed hitting Julian, who comes in at 389 tonight. One of the newer arrivals for the Harbor Hawks this season. Auburn Tiger steps in, taps the plate a couple times, now stares out at his opposition on the hill. Fod fires first pitch, a fastball in the dirt. Fod trying to hang on to this one-run advantage and get his Gateman bats back to the plate in the bottom of the third inning. Comes home with a 1-0, fastball up and away again. Well, Fod has yet to surrender a walk in his outing tonight, but been around the strike zone quite a bit as now Beaver wants another shot. Pitching coach emerges from the dugout. And the rest of the infield will make the trot into the bump. Wow, this offense ever so resilient once again here tonight. 4 runs in just the third inning. We look like we're headed for another slugfest.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hyannis didn't even get a chance to finish off their slugfest yesterday. The game was called after just under 6.5 innings, or rather under 5.5 innings, we should say. So it's called just under 5.5 innings due to rain. So the game reverted back to the 5th, where Hyannis ended up winning 13-8. But my goodness, in those 5 innings, 13 runs on 9 hits, and a total of 19 runs on 23 hits in the doubleheaders combined yesterday. So the offense really starting to click, and it was against the Bourne pitching staff that's really good. Bourne came into yesterday. Pitching staff ranked first in the league in ERA. For Wareham, yeah, their offense is really good. Their pitching's just right in the middle of the pack. So not really that surprising to see Hyannis pick it up and keep hitting the ball well.
Well, Julian's in a good hitter's count here, 2-0. Another check on DeSantolo at first. A closer play this time, but DeSantolo slides the hand back to the back of the bag in time. Julian hitting here with 2 down in the third. Hyannis trying to extend this top half of the inning for the time being. Found a long stare to the plate, now comes home with a 2-0. It's a fastball called strike at the top of the zone. And Fod in his last appearance on July 2nd against the YD Red Sox. Didn't walk anybody in that outing either. Went 4 innings, gave up just 1 run on 3 hits. This Hyannis offense getting to him a bit early on in the third inning. Another check on DeSantolo. He's back safely. That blue and orange jersey for DeSantolo really picking up some gravel. Of course, Bullion Field has gravel, unlike most of those playing surfaces in Cape Cod, as a swing and a miss from Julian on an inside breaking ball. The first time Hyannis made a trip here to Wareham, we talked about it extensively. Just how unorthodox this field is. These Gatemen don't seem to mind. They've played to the tune of first place in the Western Division. A 2-2 to Julian. Swung on and sent into the air to right center field. Moving after it, McLean and Ward, but it'll be Ward to call off McLean on the run and make the grab to end the inning. So Julian pieced that one up pretty good, but Ward ranging over into the gap to make the play, and that ends the inning. So Hyannis picks up 2 hits in the frame. Darren DeSantolo stranded aboard at first base, but they cut the lead down to 1. It's 5-4 with Wareham back to the dish when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Trevor DeLate back to the mound for Hyannis in inning number 3. It's the Wareham Gatemen back to the plate, but they've seen their 3-1 advantage they gained in the last frame cut down to just 1. Matt McLean, Benjamin Sems, and Chad Stevens will come up to the plate in the 3rd to try and gain the lead back. Trevor DeLate trying to settle things down a bit on the hill for Hyannis as he stares down toward the right-handed hitting McLean as he steps in. McLean was a strikeout victim his first time up as DeLate winds and fires. Fastball low and inside, it's 1-0. For Wareham, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Swept yesterday in a doubleheader at the hands of the Harwich Mariners. So these Gatemen reeling a bit as they return home. DeLate's 1-0 is sent up the middle and past the glove of Servideo into center, a leadoff base hit. Now Matt McLean sends a fastball back up the middle. He makes it a 1-for-2 day, and he's aboard to start things in the 3rd. I'll bring up Benjamin Sems, who's 1-for-1 as well.
Yeah, McLean just shoots one up the middle. Gatemen have used that alley decent amount so far today. And they have got their 9th hit of the game already in the 3rd inning.
And DeLate, who made 21 appearances at UMaine this past spring. He fires home a fastball down out of the glove of McDaniel. No advance for McLean at first. DeLate gave up just 22 hits in those 21 appearances. And already, as Lyle just mentioned, 9 for the Gatemen here tonight as McLean takes a short lead off first to Santalo, holding him on closely. DeLate winds and fires a 1-0. Chopper first base side, past the glove of DeSantalo, off the first base umpire and into foul ground. I believe it was called foul anyway, as it clanked off the hand of the first base umpire, past the glove of DeSantalo down the first baseline. It skipped over toward the fence. Anthony Servideo went charging past DeSantalo to go retrieve that in foul ground, but it was foul. It is 1-1. So McLean back to the bag at first. And Sems back to the box. DeLate stares over the glove at first base toward McLean. Now turns home and fires a 1-1. Breaking ball in the dirt. Knocked down in between the legs by McDaniel. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Wareham Gateman shortstop. Sems came in right at 300 on the nose. One of 6 bats in this Gateman lineup to reach that plateau this season. DeLate kicks and fires to DeSantalo. A check on first. Back standing is Matt McLean. And for Wareham, looking to pick up their 12th win of the summer. Hyannis in search of their 6th. They picked up back-to-back yesterday at the hands of the 4th place Bourne Braves. Another check on McLean. He's back standing. First time Hyannis has put together back-to-back wins, albeit the second game a bit shortened. The DeLate set at the chest, fires a 2-1. Swung on deep to right field. Sending back Mosley toward the wall, looking up, and it's gone. A 2-run blast off the bat of Benjamin Sems. His first of the summer, and RBIs number 6 and 7. And the Gatemen get that 3-run lead right back at 7-4.
Well, we said it. We didn't think either offense was going to be too quiet throughout the rest of this ball game, and Wareham proves it right there. Benjamin Sems just annihilating one down the right field line. Turns on an inside fastball, hooks it inside the foul pole. And just like that, Wareham up by 3 again. Like you said, Benjamin Sems, his first long ball of the summer for a Wareham team that only had 13 coming into today.
And Chad Gassman has seen enough. He's on the mound. He's going to take the ball away from the southpaw DeLate. And it's Patrick Fredrickson out of the bullpen. We'll have the pitching change for you on the other side of the break when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back here from Spillane Field in a 7-4 ball game that sees the hometown Gatemen on top. Chad Gassman gives the ball to Minnesota right-hander Patrick Fredrickson. After making his 5th appearance on the summer for Hyannis in 2019, his 3rd out of relief. Comes into the game and will face the right-handed hitting third baseman Chad Stevens. Pumps in a fastball that catches the outside corner for strike 1. Now Patrick so far this season has tossed 10 1/3 for manager Chad Gassman. Walked 7, struck out 9, surrendered 18 hits in the process. Comes home with an 0-1. Breaking ball, that's good for a strike. It's 0-2. A 10.45 ERA for Patrick. His last outing at YD on July the 3rd. Bit of a rough go for him. But looking to bounce back strong here against the first place Gateman. He's got Stevens in an 0-2 count. Comes home but fires a breaking ball down and away. For Patrick in that outing, he's part of a 13-1 loss at McKeon Park to the third place Red Sox of the Eastern Division. Went 3 innings in that contest, gave up 3 earned on 5 hits. A 1-2, that's in the dirt, count evens. Breaking ball bouncing up off the mask of McDaniel behind the plate as he returns the ball to Fredrickson on the hill. For the 6'6 right-hander, still in search of the first out here in the Wareham 3rd. Fredrickson gets his sign. He's into the windup. His 2-2 offering. Fastball on the ground right side. Backhanded stop by DeSantelo as he flips to Fredrickson, covering the bag at first in time to get Stevens. And there's the first out of the inning. A nice sliding stop from DeSantelo moving to his right.
Yeah, he makes a nice play. Keeps it from trickling into right field as he moves about a step to his right, gets the glove down on the ground. A nice backhand stop. And a spin and flip to Fredrickson, covering the bag.
So that'll bring up the number 9 man, Taro Otsuka. He's 1 for 1, singled and scored. It was part of a 4-run second inning for the Gatemen. Fredrickson into his motion. First pitch, a fastball way up and in. Spinning Otsuka back out of the box. Edward Julian has creeped in on the lip of the infield grass, just a couple of steps inward. DeSantelo across the diamond behind the bag at first as Fredrickson fires a 1-0. Fastball sent back up off the fencing. Backstop that protects the press box here from Spillane. The count draws even a ball and a strike. Nobody on, 1 out. This Gateman offense has put up 7 runs. As Fredrickson comes home with a 1-1. Fastball again fouled straight back. Otsuka just a bit under that one, but he's timing up Fredrickson pretty well. He sent the past 2 pitches straight back. This inning started with a single from Matt McLean, and then the long ball from Benjamin Sems brought home 2. That's where we stand right now at 7-4. Fredrickson's 1-2. Fastball, a nubber up the right side. Past the first base bag, but foul as DeSantelo scoops it up. The count will stay put, and Otsuka will return to the box and do it again. So the Minnesota right-hander Fredrickson's been alternated in his past couple appearances between starts and bullpen appearances. He's a guy that can do both. He winds and delivers a 1-2. Fastball, chopper right side. Servideo plays it on a high hop. Over to DeSantelo at first in time to retire Otsuka, 2 down.
Fredrickson's looked solid since entering the game. Just 2 ground ball outs, pretty soft contact. Of course, DeSantelo helped him out with the backhanded stop on the dive. But 2 pretty easy ground outs here that'll bring up Braden Ward. Fredrickson's been doing a nice job keeping the ball down so far.
He's induced 2 soft numbers off the bat. One from Chad Stevens and the last one from Otsuka. Now in steps the leadoff man Braden Ward, who's 1 for 2. First pitch from Patrick. Breaking ball just rests outside. Trying to paint the outside black. Couldn't pick up the spot. Daniel was set up, down and away. The count 1-0 to the dangerous center fielder Braden Ward. Fredrickson winds and deals a 1-0 inside. Jackknife the hitter Ward out of the box. 2 balls, no strikes. Nobody aboard, 2 down in the Wareham half of the 3rd inning. Fredrickson comes home, a 2-0 fastball misses downstairs. The Patrick has fallen behind 3-0 in this count. He's walked 7 on the season so far and in danger of walking his first of his outing here tonight against the Gatemen. Into his motion, he comes home. Fastball to get me over pitch. The count runs to 3-1. Trevor DeLate, his line is closed. He didn't walk anybody tonight either. Went 3+, gave up 7 earned runs on 10 hits. Not the debut he was hoping for here with Hyannis. Fredrickson on in relief and comes home with a 3-1. Fastball upstairs, and he walks the leadoff man Ward. So Ward's aboard for the second time tonight. Now bring in Darren Baker, the second baseman, a strikeout victim, but then came back in the second inning and laced a single. Trying to keep this bottom of the third inning alive for the Gatemen. Baker waves the bat toward Fredrickson, who now works from the stretch with a runner aboard at first. Big right-hander comes home. Runner takes off for second, starting to stop as Ward retreats back to the bag. McDaniel popped up out of the crouch as Westberg went over to cover the bag at second, but no advance. And Fredrickson toes the rubber again. Ward kicking some dirt, or should I say gravel, over at first base with DeSantelo holding him on. Patrick, a couple of peeks over the shoulder, now the 0-1. A chopper. Julian comes over to get it. It's going to be Westberg, an off-balance throw quickly over to first, not in time. Both runners are going to advance, or reach safely, rather. The Ward up to second. Darren Baker beats out an infield single. Looked to be a bit of confusion as to who was going to take that ball, Westberg or Julian. It ultimately ended up being Westberg coming in on the lip of the grass on the infield. Waited on the in-between hop and the throw, just not in time to DeSantelo. So it's 2 on and 2 out now for the number 3 man in the order, Jacob Teeter. Teeter is the man who really broke it open with a bases clearing triple back in the second inning. Wareham had loaded the bases in that frame, and Teeter wiped them all away, bringing him home. Fredrickson worked himself into a bit of a jam here as he misses low with a fastball. It's 1-0. Well, we talked about how relentless the Hyannis offense has been over the past couple nights. Wareham giving a bit of a taste of their own medicine. Ward at second, Baker at first. Teeter the hitter. Fredrickson a couple peeks back to second, now comes home. A fastball low again. Knocked down by McDaniel as Ward retreats back to the bag at second.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And when you put up 11 hits in less than 3 innings, that is some type of offensive outburst. And Wareham not letting their foot off the pedal here at Spillane Field.
Patrick Fredrickson trying to find a way to wiggle out of this third inning. It's been a long one. Comes set, now fires. Fastball off the glove of McDaniel. It was a bit low, below the knees of Teeter. So the second straight hitter Fredrickson's gone to 3 balls and no strikes with. The Hyannis pitching staff once again starting to crumble a bit. This Gateman offense ever dangerous. The 3-0 comes home. Fastball and number toward the Hyannis dugout, foul off the end of the bat. 3 balls and a strike as Fredrickson trying to go outside with a fastball. Patrick picked up 45 strikeouts in his sophomore season with Minnesota. He could certainly use one here with Hyannis in the third inning. Trying to work himself back from a 3-1 count to Jacob Teeter. Waves the bat above his shoulder from the left side. Winds and fires. Fastball high, a called strike. Both runners going to advance into scoring position as they were off with the pitch. The Ward now stands 90 feet away at third. Baker right behind him at second. So now a couple of ducks on the pond for Teeter, who already has 12 RBIs on the season thus far. Trying to extend this Wareham lead even further in the early frames. Fredrickson's payoff. 3-2. Bouncer toward Westberg. He's up with it. Fires across to first and in time to retire the side. So Fredrickson able to induce the ground ball he needed to get out of the inning. Wareham strands 2 in scoring position, but they tack on a couple more to extend the lead back to 3. It's the Gatemen 7, the Harbor Hawks 4. with Hyannis back to the plate when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. As Hyannis returns to the plate for action in the top of the fourth, it's a battle in the bullpens now. Wareham turns to the right-hander out of Cal State Fullerton, Tanner Bibby. And he'll take on Chad McDaniel, Mitch McIntyre, and Jordan Westberg in the top of the fourth. The Hyannis offense looking to respond again, trying to play some more catch-up. Chad McDaniel bats from the left side. He takes a first pitch fastball, cut and a miss. It's 0-1. Bibby, the 6'2 right-hander, he's already seen Hyannis once this season. He made an appearance on June the 15th. That was at McKeon Park. Bibby winds and fires. 1-0 breaking ball. Swing and a miss again from McDaniel. Well over the top of it, 0-2. In that outing against Hyannis, it was a 12-5 win for the Gatemen. Bibby tossed 3 innings, giving up just 1 hit and striking out 3 in the process. Is 0-2 to Chad. Fastball up high. Overall for the season, this is Bibby's 5th appearance. Picked up 1 save in 7 2/3 innings. Walked just 1 and struck out 8 while giving up 6 hits for a 2.34 ERA. Into his windup, his 1-2 to McDaniel. Breaking ball into the dirt. Off the chest protector of Beaver as it rolls toward the Wareham dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes with McIntyre looming on deck. McDaniel 0 for 1 to this point. Lofted a fly ball to left his first time up. Bibby's 2-2. Fastball upstairs. The count swells full. Hyannis, last time they came to the plate, trailed by 3, cut the lead to 1. Wareham responded with 2 more, and now it's 7-4 where we sit. Bibby's payoff offering. Fastball on the outside corner, strike 3.
That strikeout brought to you by the law.
McDaniel goes down. He's 0 for 2. That's the first strikeout of the game for the Wareham staff. That'll bring up Mitch McIntyre, who's 1 for 1.
Yeah, he just pinpointed one well on the outer part of the plate. Got McDaniel looking, and like you said, thought didn't strike out anybody. Bibby picks up his first right there.
So McIntyre taps the plate from the left side. Seeing the Bibby for the first time, he watches a fastball that runs away. Well, Mitch picked up a single his first time up. Came into today under the Mendoza line at 175. Trying to raise the average a couple points higher in his second at bat as he swings one foul back. The count evens at 1-1. Brendan Font worked 3 innings in this game. Gave up 4 runs on just 6 hits. Bibby a breath as he brings the tan glove over his head into his windup. A 1-1. Fastball, chopper right side to the second baseman Baker. He plays it on a hop, throw to first in time to get McIntyre 2 down. So just an easy ground ball induced from Bibby that time. McIntyre sends it on a couple of hops to Baker at second, and 2 down for Jordan Westberg. And Westberg, he's 1 for 2 as well. But he was bound to cool off at some point. Started off this season 7 for 10 in a Hyannis uniform, 3 home runs and 7 RBIs. He digs in here for the 3rd time tonight against Bibby. Fastball below the knees, it's 1-0. Westberg picked up 2 home runs in his debut a couple of nights ago at McKeon Park. Picked up 1 more yesterday in the doubleheader. 1-0 fastball again. Just inside. Westberg raising the elbows to avoid being hit. 2 balls, no strikes. Brendan Font just walked 1 in his outing tonight. Didn't strike out anybody, as Lyle mentioned. 2-0 to Westberg. On the outside corner, it's 2-1. Before the offense that showed the outpouring of runs that we saw over the past couple of evenings, it was walks were the name of the game for this team. They racked up 10 in Orleans last week. Bibby's 2-1. Bounding ball over the mound to the shortstop, Sems. He spins, fires to first. The throw's going to get away. The Westberg is going to reach safely at first on a wide throw from Teeter. The catcher, Beaver, went to back up the bag as he went to retrieve it in foul ground. The Westberg reaches with 2 down. That'll bring up Anthony Servideo and give him a chance to extend the inning.
Well, that should be ruled another hit. And if it is, Westberg will pick up his 9th of the summer in just his 4th game. Yeah, they're going to rule it a single. But he's 2 for 3 today. Just puts one up the middle. Hard 90 down the line and makes the shortstop Sems sail one to the right of Teeter.
It was a tough play for Sems, who had to go a long way to his left toward the second base bag, spin and fire. As the fastball misses wide to Servideo, it's 1-0. And Sems has already made a couple of nice plays tonight. Made an off-balance throw to first base. Earlier on in the ballgame, that retired Hunter Goodman. Bibby from the stretch fires a 1-0. Fastball, that one paints the outside black for a strike to even the count 1-1. Servidio's been to the plate twice. He's reached base both times. A double and scored in the first. Walked in later, scored in the third. Servidio's been a busy man on the offensive side of things tonight here from Spillane Field. Bibby kicks and deals. Fastball again. Belt high, a called strike on the outer part of the plate. 1-2. Trevor Hauber awaits on deck. He's picked up a couple of RBIs in the contest so far this evening. Bibby stares down at his catcher Beaver for a sign, shakes off a couple, now peeks back to first, and he comes set. A pause, now the 1-2 offering. Runner taken off for second. Throw down from Beaver is going to be in time. They got Westberg at second base. Pitch was right down the middle. Beaver popped up out of the crouch and gunned down Westberg, trying to swipe second base. So that's how the 4th inning will end. Hyannis can't come back here in the 4th inning. They still trail at 7-4. Patrick Fredrickson back to the mound when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Patrick Fredrickson resides on the back of the mound as he makes his stride toward the rubber to start off action in the fourth. Wareham comes back to the plate. Their owners have a 3-run advantage as we sit here at Spillane Field. Adrian Del Castillo, Dallas Beaver, and Matt McLean, the 3 men to hit in the inning. Cut and a miss on a fastball from Fredrickson to Del Castillo. It's 0-1. And for Adrian tonight, he's made it a 1-for-2 performance so far. Taking in for his 3rd plate appearance to start off the home half of the inning. Working ball dropped in for a strike on the outer part. It's 0-2. And Fredrickson has some swing and miss stuff when necessary. He's picked up 9 strikeouts so far this season. Looking for another one here on 0-2. Fastball runs high at the letters. Hyannis staff has racked up just 2 strikeouts so far. Just 1 on the flip side for Wareham. But a game of contact so far as a 1-2 comes in. Bounding ball off the glove of Fredrickson up the middle. Westberg tried to make a barehanded play. He couldn't. It gets past him as Cervidio picks it up, but no throw to first base as Del Castillo reaches safely to start the 4th.
Well, Fredrickson tried to glove it. It would have been a pretty nice play if he had come down with the ball. But it just hits off the top of his glove. Like you said, Westberg charging in, but he was a little far too left of the baseball, and he couldn't quite reach out and make the barehanded play.
The Dallas Beaver steps in with 1 on, nobody out. Beavers also racked up a hit tonight. Wareham's offense has exploded for 7 runs, not even halfway through the ballgame. Fredrickson fires home a fastball, big cut and a miss from Beaver off the back foot. It's 0-1. So Fredrickson sits around the low to mid-90s with that heater. Blowing it by Beaver to start off his at-bat. Minnesota right-hander looks back to first, now throws over there. Bit of a wide throw, but DeSantillo able to corral it. No tag applied as diving back head first was Del Castillo. Lights have been turned on here from Spillane Field as we are just a few minutes shy of the 8 o'clock hour here in Cape Cod. Fredrickson, a deep breath out of the stretch, now comes home with an 0-1. Cut and a miss from Beaver, it's 0-2. Fredrickson buried a breaking ball, got Beaver to offer at it out of the zone. Still eyeing that first strikeout. It's the lanky right-hander on the hill. DeSantillo keeping close tabs on Del Castillo at first. Fredrickson comes home with an 0-2. Fastball in the air to left center. Raging after Jordan and Haber converging. It will be Jordan to make the play on the move. So he sets down Beaver for out number 1. Back to first, Del Castillo. And that'll bring up Matt McLean.
Number 10, Matthew McLean from UCLA.
So the right fielder hailing from UCLA steps in. 1 for 2, a strikeout victim, and also single. Batting here in the 4th inning with 1 on and 1 out against Patrick Fredrickson, seeing him for the first time. Patrick brings the tan glove set at the belt. Edward Julian has crept in onto the infield grass. Fredrickson turns and fires back to first. Del Castillo in safely. Well, the reliever that had come on for the gateman, Tanner Bibby, had seen Hyannis once. Patrick Fredrickson has also seen Wareham once. That came in the same game. Fredrickson tossed 3 1/3 in that game for manager Chad Gassman. Now making an appearance here on the road at Spillane. First pitch to McLean, misses down and away. Trying to get him to offer at a breaking ball. It missed outside. It's 1-0. Fredrickson, a long stare down at McDaniel. A quick peek back to Del Castillo at first. And now offers home with a 1-0. Breaking ball in the dirt. McDaniel to his right to knock it down. Del Castillo back to the bag. So McLean was a .250 hitter coming into action tonight. Had launched 2 home runs and picked up 11 RBIs as well. We talk so much about this Wareham offense that can just come up on you and explode at any time. They have teed off these Hyannis arms early and often in this game. As a 2-0 comes home from Fredrickson, fastball that missed down and away. And 3 balls and no strikes to Matt McLean. Fredrickson's been around the zone for most of his outing as he comes home with a 3-0. Fastball, that's in there, right down Main Street for a strike, 3-1. Well, these arms just trying to do what they can to get Hyannis back to the dish and hope this offense has some more juice left in the bats. Fredrickson, a long pause, now is 3-1. Time was called at the plate as Fredrickson fired home. The count still stays at 3-1. McLean was backed up out of the box as that pitch came in. Fredrickson slowing his pace down a bit with Del Castillo aboard at first behind him. Turns and fires. Bit of a courtesy check over as DeSantolo doesn't apply a tag. Del Castillo back head first again. Not much wind to speak of here from Spillane. Bit of a calm night and a beautiful one for baseball at that. Fredrickson's 3-1. Fastball just misses off the outside corner trying to paint the black. And McLean draws a 1-out walk, so that puts 2 aboard for the Gateman. And Benjamin Sems, who's already gone yard in this contest.
Well, for Fredrickson, he battled in that at bat, but he loses the hitter McLean, that one running just away. Double play still intact, however, so a ground ball still can potentially end the inning.
Fredrickson just trying to induce any type of contact here against Sems. He's got to be careful where he locates it. Sems is 2 for 2 on the day. A single and a home run. First pitch to him. Fastball swung on and fouled straight back. Well, Sems really can do it both for the Gateman on the offensive side and defensive side of things. A very sure-handed shortstop, and of course, we've seen him put the bat on display tonight already. Westberg creeping behind the runner Del Castillo with the bag at second. Double play, of course, still in order. Fredrickson fires home in 0-1. Cut and a miss from the hitter Sems. It's 0-2. So the Minnesota Gopher could use a strikeout desperately here. 7-4 ball game. The Gateman with the advantage at home at Spillane Field. Sun starting to disappear behind the trees that reside behind the first base bleachers as Fredrickson steps off. Both runners hold their leads at the bag as Patrick steps back on and stares down the hitter Sems, who waves the bat at him a couple times. A pause, now the 0-2. Fastball fouled off a mask of McDaniel to the backstop. Sems hanging tough with 2 strikes, fouling off 1 to stay alive. Just 1 out in the inning. Hyannis trailing by 3, trying to get the offense back to the plate. No action in the Hyannis bullpen. Fredrickson came on in this game fairly early in relief of Trevor DeLate, who had a rough go of it in his debut in an orange and blue uniform. Sems pinwheels the bat. He's ready for an 0-2. Fredrickson to look back to second, now comes home. Swing and a miss, but fouled off. Just getting a piece off the end of the bat. Fredrickson trying to paint the outside corner and sneak a breaking ball by Sems through the back door. But the Gateman shortstop hanging tough. Still a chance for an RBI with the runner in scoring position, Del Castillo. Fredrickson trying to induce a ground ball to get a double play and get him out of the inning. As a fastball is skied up off to the left out of play.
You can keep that foul ball, courtesy of attorney Glenn Hennington.
So Sems really putting together a lengthy at bat and a good one at that. Hanging tough with 2 strikes against the tall right-hander Fredrickson. Count still 0-2. Outfield playing pretty much straight up. Infield pretty much the same with the exception of the middle infielders at double play depth. Fredrickson's next 0-2. Breaking ball, cut and a miss, strike 3. Bit of a half-hearted swing from Sems as he goes down for the 3rd strikeout all told between the Hyannis staff tonight. First one for Fredrickson of his outing. And that'll bring up Chad Stevens with 2 on, 2 out.
And some really nice bite to that breaking ball. It got the hitter Sems chasing at it way late. Didn't have much of a chance at it.
So Chad Stevens digs in out of the number 8 spot. He's 0 for 2. A chance to forget the effort to this point if he can find a gap in the outfield and bring home a runner. Frederickson trying to make sure that doesn't happen as he misses with the breaking ball down and away. It's 1-0. And Patrick to this point is up to 41 pitches out of the bullpen for Hyannis. This was his first full inning in relief. Fires a 1-0. Fastball, that evens the count 1-1. Picking out a good spot. McDaniel set up on the outside corner. Frederickson hitting the target. The count even to the right-handed hitting third baseman. Patrick comes set at the belt again. Looks back towards second. A 1-1 offering. Breaking ball in the dirt. Knocked down by McDaniel. No advance for the runner at second. Del Castillo got a bit of a dancing start off the bat before the pitch. About a quarter of the way down the baseline, but no advance to third. Frederickson really taking his time on the rubber as he looks toward McDaniel for a sign. Again, the score, Wareham 7, Hyannis 4 in the bottom of the fourth from Spillane Field. Now Frederickson wants some time as he'll step off the back of the rubber. He and McDaniel not just on the same page. 2-1 the count to the hitter, Stevens. Frederickson ready, here's the pitch. Fastball low and away, it's 3-1. Matt McLean walked, that's how he reached base down at first. And now Chad Stevens has worked a pretty lengthy at bat. One pitch away from doing the same thing and loading the bases. Frederickson comes home with a 3-1. Fastball bouncer to the right side, just foul to the right of the Hyannis dugout as the ball boy will go retrieve it and send it back toward the Wareham side. So the count fills on Stevens. Frederickson still awaiting to get a new baseball. Now he does. He'll step back on the rubber. Runners will be off with the pitch as the count is full with 2 down. Frederickson a deep breath as he comes set. A look to second. Now double takes, comes home with a 3-2. Fastball in there, strike 3 call. Back-to-back strikeouts for the Minnesota right-hander gets him out of a jam in the fourth. Wareham strands 2. It's still Gateman 7, Hyannis 4. Harborhawk bats back to the plate in the top of the 5th when we return from Spillane Field on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Anthony Servideo comes to the plate to lead off the top of the 5th as Hyannis trails 7-4 against the Wareham Gatemen, with the right-hander Tanner Bibby back on the mound as he fires home. Off speed for a called strike, it's 0-1. Servideo 1 for 1 with a walk today. He scored twice. He stepped on the plate half the times for the Hyannis offense today. 4 runs, 2 in the first, 2 in the third. Offering down low, it's 1-1. So Servideo really starting to push up that average as time's gone on this summer. And again, he's a guy who walks a lot too. Already with a free pass today. That was his 10th of the summer. Offering, ground ball slap to the right side, foul. Teeter gave it some chase moving to his left, but didn't have a play at it to begin with, although there was no need for one. 1-2 the count. Bibby worked a scoreless frame in the fourth. He gave up the 1 hit to Jordan Westberg, but he was thrown out at second to end the frame. 1-2. Down low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Servideo started in a bat back in the top of the fourth. It was cut short. And now he's back into the left side of the box, looking to jumpstart a little bit of a rally for a Hyannis ball club that trails by 3. The infield back with the right-hander Bibby peering over the glove, fires home. Ground ball right side, right at the second baseman Baker. He flubs it for a second, throws to first, and it's wild over the head of Teeter. That gets out of play, and Servideo is going to be awarded second base. So Hyannis catches a nice break to begin the top of the 5th. Servideo hits one right at Darren Baker, goes in and out of his glove. Tried to make a quick throw to Teeter at first, but it airmailed way over his head.
And Baker just flubbed it out of the glove for just a second. Looked like he still had some time to gather and get Servideo, but I think Baker looked out of the corner of his eye and saw Servideo busting down the line and might have panicked a little bit. That resulted in the wild throwaway.
So now up to the mound, the catcher for the Wareham Gateman, Dallas Beaver, set to have a word with the Cal State Fullerton righty, Tanner Bibby. Quick meeting, though. Beaver runs back behind the plate. Bibby in his campaign at Cal made 15 appearances, all of them starts, a 4.33 ERA, and 95 2/3 innings. He'll check the runner Servideo at second, fires home to Trevor Hoover, who takes a strike at the bottom of the zone. So Bibby had a lot of work in his 2019 campaign. And he came into today with 7 2/3 innings of time here with the Wareham Gatemen. He checks on Servideo from the stretch, set right above the letters, fires home, fastball in. And Bibby's been really effective for Wareham. 2.34 ERA coming into today. All 4 appearances have been out of relief. But after working 95 2/3 innings at Cal State Fullerton, doesn't seem to be slowing up one bit. Pitch to Hoover, line drive out to center. It brings Ward in, and he makes the catch right at the neck level. So Hoover sprays one, but right at the UW product, Braden Ward, who puts it away for the first out.
The designated hitter, number 23, Hunter Goodman.
That'll bring up Hunter Goodman. He's got an RBI single today. Also grounded out to short. And once again, with that Goodman RBI single back in the first, it marked an RBI to his name in 6 of his last 7 starts. The right-hander Bibby takes a breath out of the stretch and fires home. Breaking ball misses away. So with that RBI, it put him into a tie with Austin Wells in terms of runs batted in. And looking at the YD Orleans score today, as Bibby takes a breath, he'll check on Servideo. Now a second time, and he comes home, swinging a foul back. That's the only completed game so far, as the Red Sox took down the Firebirds 5-2 at Red Wilson Field. But Wells on the day went 1 for 4, no RBIs. He also walked once. But with that Goodman run batted in the first, he is in a current deadlock with the Arizona product Wells. And with an RBI opportunity currently sitting at hand, he's got a chance to take the lead as well. Pitch, swinging a foul back. In and out of the glove of the catcher Beaver, and it's 1-2. Around the rest of the league, Harwich and Falmouth are deadlocked at 2 in the bottom of the 7th. That's out at Gov Fuller Field. Catuit and Bourne squaring off at Doran Park, with the Road Cavaliers leading 6-2. And finally out at Veterans Field in Chatham, the Whitecaps are up 2-0 on the Anglers. But here over the bridge at Spillane Field, it's 7-4 Wareham. Servideo at second. Now the 1-2 to Goodman. Swinging a line drive into left field. That's going to fall for a hit. Servideo around third. The throw coming in from Otsuka. It's way up the line, and Servideo steps on the plate. Goodman moves up to second, and just like that, the ball skips behind the netting, and Goodman's now going to be awarded third as the ball gets out of play. So Hunter Goodman, his second RBI hit of the game, and Hyannis fans are now looking at the new Cape League, the new Cape League leader in runs batted in. That's Goodman's 20th of the summer, and he now sits atop the Cape League. Wells at 19. Goodman picks up his 20th. And now to bring up Jared DeSantolo with a runner on third. It's 7-5 Wareham as Hyannis is chipping away at the lead.
Well, we talked about the MVP shortlist a few nights ago. And Hunter Goodman with the 20 RBIs doesn't have the average to go with it just yet, but if he keeps producing at this rate, he could be at the bottom of that short list. Jared DeSantolo, of course, who came in second in the league in average tonight, also making a case for himself as well to be on that list. Or at least certainly be a part of the conversation.
DeSantolo now the hitter. He's still out of the box as he's taking his time to work his way in. On the season, Jared's currently hitting .375 as he's 1 for 2 today. Bibby out of the stretch with a runner on third. He'll take a breath and fire home. Fastball low. The infield playing in for Wareham. They're trying to keep Goodman from scoring and also trying to prevent Hyannis from getting any further at chipping away at the Wareham 7-5 lead. Bibby gives a look at Goodman at third. He fires home. Ground ball up the middle. Baker to his right, sliding stop on the backhand throw to first and picked out by Teeter. Goodman stays at third. So a run kept off the board with the Wareham infield in, and a nice stop by Baker to save a run for his Wareham Gateman ball club. He moves to his right, makes a sliding stop on the backhand on the infield gravel, and gets to his feet quickly and fires across. Also a nice job on the other end by Teeter to pick it out of the dirt.
And it was a bit of a slow roller toward Baker at second base. Had to slide to make the stop. Goodman advanced a bit down the third baseline. Looked like he wanted to go home, but hesitated a bit.
Now with 2 outs, it brings up Rowdy Jordan. The offering. Fastball good for a strike. Bibby pumped that one in pretty hard. It's now 0-1. Rowdy's 0 for 2. Popped out to third and flew out to right. But he's in search of his first RBI of the summer. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball in, the count levels. The Goodman stands at third after the RBI single. For Rowdy Jordan, he drove in 49 in his season at Mississippi State. And of course, he usually hit toward the top of the lineup. Another 1-1. Swinging a foul tip back into the glove. Count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. So the Cal State Fullerton righty Tanner Bibby issued his first run of the game after the Goodman single. As Rowdy Jordan pinwheels the bat at the right-hander Bibby on the mound once. He keeps it in place for some time now. It's just sticking out toward him. And now as Bibby comes set, Jordan's back into his stance from the left side. 1-2 the count with 2 away. Offering. Swing and a miss. That'll end the inning. Jordan punches out to complete the top of the 5th, but Hyannis chips away at the lead. It's now 7-5 Wareham through 4.5 frames. For the Harbor Hawks in the inning, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left on. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. 9-1-2 coming to the plate for the Gateman in the bottom of the fifth, with the right-hander Patrick Fredrickson out of Minnesota back on the mound. As he kicks and fires to the lefty Tora Otsuka, who grounds one right side over the head of DeSantalo. It skips into right field. Otsuka rounds the bag at first. He hits the brakes and retreats back to the bag. And with one pitch, Wareham has a runner on first with Otsuka's second hit of the night.
Well, DeSantalo went down to both knees to try and get that one. It took a weird hop off the lip of the grass over his left shoulder and into right. So Otsuka lucking out a little bit. DeSantalo, had he come up with it, probably would have taken it to the bag for a 3 unassisted. And a runner aboard to start off the inning for Wareham.
That's a Spillane Field bounce if I've ever seen one, Brendan.
Well, that's one way to put it.
Once again, we'll briefly glaze over some of the obscurities that reside inside this ballpark, as Brendan started to touch on earlier. Gravel infield, mound dirt, batter's box dirt, a temporary fence up from left to right in the outfield, and then a field goal post down the left field line that sits in foul territory, but it is in play. And that one just taking a funny bounce. Really nothing DeSantalo could do about it. So Otsuka stands at first. Ward now the hitter. He's showing to bunt. Fredrickson's going to throw over. And back safely standing up, the runner Otsuka out of San Diego. So Ward today already reached base twice. 1 for 2. He produced a bunt single and later scored. Also walked and was stranded at third base. Fredrickson's going to come set. Julian creeping in as Ward swings away, grounds one up the middle. That's going to trickle into center field. It's a base hit. Otsuka stops at second, Ward at first, and he reaches base in 3 straight plate appearances as he picks up his second hit of the night.
Well, Ward again just taking an inside fastball, getting the barrel to it, and placing it right back up the middle past Westberg in center, moving Otsuka up into scoring position. And this Wareham offense once again rallying against Hyannis.
So nobody out, 2 on. It brings up Darren Baker. Fredrickson's worked 2 scoreless innings to this point, and he's been mightily effective. But he's in a bit of trouble here in the bottom of the 5th. Baker's going to call time for just a second. Fredrickson will step his right foot off the mound. This Wareham lineup just continuing to hit. Fredrickson will check Otsuka at second. Both middle infielders playing toward the bag as Baker shows bunt, pulls back, and it's high and it's away. So for Wareham in the inning, 2 base hits. In the game, they have 14, and we're in the 5th inning. Time's going to be called. Ron Polk, one of the assistant coaches, making his way out to the mound to have a word with Fredrickson. So it's not pitching coach Ray Korn, but it's Ron Polk who's talking to Fredrickson, maybe going over some defensive alignments as well. One defensive change in the Hyannis order as we speak in the bottom of the 5th. Anthony Servidio's exited the game. He's been replaced by Jackson Olsen at second. So meeting concludes. Polk walks back to the dugout. Olsen, the infielder out of Hartford, taking over for Servidio over at second base. There's 2 on with nobody down. Darren Baker back into the box. He has a 1-0 count. Righty Fredrickson ready to go. Fires, bunted foul, left side toward the Hyannis dugout. The Baker a 1-1 count. He's 2 for 3 today. He has a stolen base. Braden Ward also has a stolen base, although he can't go anywhere right now with Otsuka ahead of him. Fredrickson hides the ball behind his back for a second. Now he'll come set at the belt out of the stretch. Offering to Baker. Bunted foul left side again. Baker hangs his head back looking toward the sky for a second in frustration. And now with 1 and 2, he's likely going to be forced to swing the bat. So Wareham opting to bunt with runners on first and second, nobody out. a time for a bunt that makes total sense as you try to put one down to put two in scoring position with less than 2 outs, but Baker, as of the first 2 tries, couldn't do so successfully. Now the 1-2. Checks his swing. Did he go around? Appeal down to second. He does not. Count moves to 2-2. Fredrickson gets the baseball back on the mound. Once again, Baker and Ward steal bases like nobody's business. For Braden Ward, picked up his 14th stolen bag earlier in the ballgame. He already led the Cape coming into today, but he further extends his lead. Now the 2-2. Swing and a blooper on the infield. Olsen backing up, and he makes the play, just moving on to the outfield grass. So 1 down. Fredrickson gets a pretty easy out as Baker's retired, chasing one down in the dirt. And it'll bring up the hitter, Jacob Teeter, first baseman out of Florida Southern.
It looked like Baker was a bit indecisive on whether or not he wanted to go around. Didn't complete the swing as a result. Just an easy blooper to Jackson Olsen, the new defensive replacement at second base.
Teeter's had himself a day. 2 hits, a 3 RBI triple in the second. Also singled and scored in the first. The righty Fredrickson ready to go, offers, breaking ball down. So Teeter playing at Florida Southern. He hit .316 in this past season. 51 RBIs. The 1-0 the count. Fredrickson looking for a ground ball for a double play. Offering, misses outside. But Braden Ward, 14 stolen bags on the summer. And he was nothing but a base stealer at school at Washington as well. Ward at Washington led the Pac-12 in stolen bases. Darren Baker finished in second. The offering comes into Teeter. It's a fastball up at the letters for a called strike. He had 26. 19 as a freshman. That also led the Pac-12. And 26 as a sophomore. Now what does he do? He's leading the most prestigious summer baseball league in the country in stolen bases. Fredrickson ready, the 2-1. Fastball down. It's 3 balls, 1 strike to the hitter, Teeter. So for a conference like the Pac-12, which is easily regarded as one of the best in the nation, Ward's led the league in swipe bags twice. He now leads the Cape. And surprisingly, he's hit 2 home runs out here with Wareham as well. Not a guy that has a whole lot of power. He's only hit 1 home run in 2 seasons for Washington. Fredrickson ready, the 3-1. Swinging a pop-up foul out of play. That 1 home run for Ward came earlier in the 2019 season for him, back on May the 5th at Washington State, out on the Palouse. But aside from that, Ward pretty much a contact hitter. In fact, he can be known to slap hit a decent amount. He hits for a high average. He's hit above 300 in both his first 2 seasons with Washington. But not a whole lot of power, so surprisingly, he's got 2 long balls with the Gateman. 3-2. Swing and a fly ball out to left center field. Hauver giving chase. He's over to his left. He makes the grab in the gap. Otsuka has to retreat back to third. Ward sprinting back to first. And Patrick Fredrickson induces a fly out for the second out of the bottom of the 5th.
Well, that's some good hustle from Trevor Hauver. Had to go a long way into the gap to try and track that one down. He does so successfully and keeps both runners put. But more importantly, 2 down now in the inning.
So Del Castillo now the hitter. Fredrickson gave up those 2 singles to lead off the inning, but he's since recorded a pop out to second and a fly out to left. Pitch to Del Castillo. Plunks him right on the front leg. So Del Castillo flips the bat back toward the dugout and sprints down to first. Otsuka moves up to third. Ward over to second. And the bases are loaded with 2 down for the hitter, Dallas Beaver. So Fredrickson just let a fastball run too far inside. It hits Del Castillo. And Dallas Beaver, who's already got an RBI hit today, looking to extend on a Gateman lead. Wareham leads 7-5. Hyannis got another run back in the top of the 5th on the Hunter Goodman RBI single, which made it his 20th of the summer. That now leads the Cape League. Fredrickson works back to the windup, fires home. Breaking ball good for a strike. He drops it right in at the knees. For Hyannis and Wareham, once again, the third of 6 matchups this season. This is the second one at Wareham. There will be one more in the last week of the regular season. A 1 from Fredrickson. Down low, off speed, it's 1-1. But Hyannis already mounds better in terms of their play out at Spillane Field today, as opposed to what happened last time. They scored just 1 run on 4 hits. Offering from Patrick Fredrickson. Another off speed. That misses down. It's 2-1. Wareham won that game 10-1. The first contest these two had, Wareham won 12-5 out at Hyannis. Now, the Harbor Hawks actually led that game after 7 innings, but a 9 spot put up in the 8th by the Gatemen propelled them to the win. Now the 2-1. That one gets gets behind the catcher McDaniel and off the home plate umpire. So that's going to make it 3-1. He's going to need a second to reset himself. McDaniel's going to walk out to the mound to have a word with Fredrickson. So the home plate umpire for tonight, taking a deep breath just to the right and behind home plate. A trainer's going to come out to check on him, make sure he's okay. McDaniel's back behind the plate. Wareham with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 5th, leading by 2. Otsuka at 3rd, Ward at 2nd, Del Castillo at 1st. As now things are set to go again, with the hitter Dallas Beaver digging back into the box. He's got a 3-1 count with the bases loaded. 3-1 from Fredrickson. Down low, he walked him. RBI walk from Dallas Beaver, plates Otsuka from 3rd. He taps home plate, and everybody moves up 90 feet with Wareham extending the lead to 8-5. Now Matt McLean's the hitter. Fredrickson in the inning gave up the 2 leadoff singles, or the first 2 singles in the inning. Leadoff to Otsuka, then a Braden Ward single. Pitch to McLean. Fastball good for a strike at the top of the zone. After those 2 singles, Darren Baker popped out to 2nd. Jacob Teeter flied out to left. But the last 2 batters have been issued free passes by Fredrickson. A 1. Swing and a miss at a fastball. It's 0-2. McLean swings underneath that one. And Fredrickson's 1 strike away from minimizing damage and ending the inning. Wareham leads by 3. It's 8-5 from Spillane Field. And the lengthy Patrick Fredrickson sets at the belt, the windup, and fires home. It's upstairs. So Fredrickson, the 6'7", 220-pound right-hander, looking to leave the Wareham runner stranded with the bases loaded. He's ready, the 1-2. Down low, breaking ball, count levels. The Gatemen coming into tonight sitting at 1st place in the West Division, but a minuscule lead, 23 points with an 11-10-1 record. Katuitt sits at 10-10-2. They trail by just 1 point. Falmouth trails by just 2 points at 10-8-1. Offering, called strike 3, got him looking. Fredrickson freezes McLean to end the inning. And the Wareham Gatemen leave the bases loaded in the bottom of the 5th. But a run comes across. The Gatemen lead 8-5 through 5 innings. And the top of the 6th is set to come underway. For Wareham, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 3 left on. We'll go to the top of the 6th when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Hyannis sends their 7-8-9 to the plate with the Auburn Tiger Edward Julian set to lead off the top of the sixth against the righty Tanner Bibby. He'll fire home the first pitch. It's taken for a strike. Wareham comes into the inning leading by 3, 8-5 after another run was pushed across on an RBI walk from Dallas Beaver in the bottom of the fifth. Julian today's 0 for 2, offering down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Julian making his 6th start of the summer for Hyannis. Last night was the first time he didn't record a double in a game. Had 4 doubles in 4 straight starts up until game 2 yesterday. 1-1. Swing and a miss at the top of the zone. Count moves to 1-2. Julian had an RBI double in the 6-4 win for Hyannis in game 1 over Bourne. In game 2, he went 2 for 4, but a pair of singles. The righty Bibby gets the sign from the catcher Beaver, winds and fires, swing and a miss. Julian chases after a fastball at the top of the zone, but comes up empty for the first out of the inning. That brings up Chad McDaniel with 1 away. And Bibby's been pretty effective in his relief appearance. McDaniel hitting from the left side. Switch hitting catcher out of Missouri. Bibby fires home, swinging a fly ball down the left field line, giving Chase Otsuka. It drops foul just to the left of the paint. So no balls, 1 strike to McDaniel. Each of these teams participated in double headers yesterday, and they took place on Saturday. Usually in the Cape League, doubleheaders occur on the first 2 Sundays of the season. But both these double dips were due to rainouts earlier in the year. Pitch down. Breaking ball moves it to 1-1. The Gatemen lost both contests to the Harwich Mariners. That was out at White House Field on the road. Bibby has the glove up to his face, puts the arms above his head and comes home. Swinging a ground ball right side. That tail's just foul. Those final scores for Wareham yesterday. They lost game 1 2-0. They lost game 2 13-4. But for Hyannis, a different story. They took game 1 6-4. And they took game 2 13-8 in just 5 innings. Now the 1-2. Down low, count levels. And with those wins in the doubleheader yesterday for Hyannis, they've now won back-to-back for the first time in 2019. Bibby will take a breath. The hitter McDaniel looking for his first hit of the day. Pitch, swinging a line drive left side. The third baseman Stevens moves to his left and makes the grab. So just a soft line shot on the infield. Chad Stevens reacts quickly, coasts over to his left and puts it away, making the grab at the neck level. 2 away. Mitch McIntyre now the hitter. Mitch today's 1 for 2. He singled to right in his first at bat off the starter Brandon Fott, who went just 3 innings. Bibby will get the sign. Comes home. Swing and a pop-up foul. That'll get out of play on the left side. So for Hyannis, taking both games of the doubleheader, the offense strung together 19 runs in just 12 innings, as doubleheaders are supposed to last just 7. The second game was called after 5. Pitch to McIntyre down, it's 1-1. And then if you include today, between the 13 runs in game 2, the 6 in game 1, and now tonight as well, they've scored 24 runs. The pitch to McIntyre's down, it's 2 balls, 1 strike. 24 runs over their last 17 innings. So for an offense that struggled to kind of get the wheels going through the first half of the season, they are really picking it up at a torrid pace. McIntyre, the left-handed hitter, in search of his second hit. Pitch, swinging a foul in and out of the glove of the catcher Beaver. Tanner Bibby up to this point, thrown 2 2/3 innings, given up just the 1 run. It wasn't earned. Hasn't let up a free pass. He's also punched out a trio. 2-2 the count with 2 outs to McIntyre. Wareham leading 8-5 in the top of the 6th. The pitch. Swinging a ground ball foul past the Wareham dugout, and Mitchell stay alive in the at-bat. And with those 2 wins yesterday for Hyannis, they sit at 11 points now with 5 wins, 16 losses, 1 tie. It's just 3 behind the Bourne Braves. And picking up 2 wins in the doubleheader yesterday was crucial in terms of their chances to try and make the playoffs here in 2019. Now the 2-2 from Bibby. Swinging a ground ball up the middle, moving to his left, the shortstop Sems. It's Baker to make the play, but it's in and out of his glove. No throw to first as McIntyre beats it out. And Hyannis has 1 run aboard with 2 down in the top of the 6th. So McIntyre aboard. It'll bring up Jordan Westberg.
The shortstop, number 31.
And it's just been a normal day at the office for him today.
Mississippi State.
If anything, for what he's done through the first 3 games entering today, it's been underwhelming, which is funny to say considering he's 2 for his first 3. Bibby out of the stretch. He gives a peek at McIntyre, comes home. Fastball at the knees, called strike. Westberg entering today. To say it one more time, 7 for his first 10, 5 extra base hits, 3 long balls, 7 RBIs. He's also walked 3 times. McIntyre, the runner at first, being held on by Teeter. He'll take off, pitch to Westberg, down, no throw by Beaver to second, and Mitch slides in safely head first. He'll put himself in scoring position as he picks up a stolen base. And Jordan Westberg now has an RBI opportunity right in front of him. For McIntyre, it's his 3rd stolen base of the summer. Got a really good jump on that one as Beaver had no play at second. Now Bibby stretching the 1-1. Fastball called strike, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. McIntyre has some pretty decent speed. He swiped 8 bags in his season at BYU. And now he's got 3 here for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. 1-2 the count to Westberg. Pitch from Bibby. Swing and a called strike 3 on the inside corner. No swing, rather. Westberg just watches it go by. And he punches out to end the top of the 6th. So Mitch McIntyre reaches base with 2 outs. He's stranded at second. And through 5.5 frames, Wareham still leads by a score of 8-5. So we'll go to the bottom of the 6th on the other side of the break. For Hyannis in the inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left on. 8-5 Wareham. We'll be back in just a minute on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Wareham set to send their bottom third of the lineup to the plate to begin the bottom of the 6th with the right-hander Patrick Fredrickson back on the mound as he fires the first pitch to Benjamin Sems down low. It's 1-0. So the Gatemen have spread their runs across today. 1 in the first, 4 in the second, 2 in the third, and 1 in the 5th. The pitch, Swing and a blooping shot in the air into short right center field. Jordan comes in. He makes the catch, calling off McIntyre, and he moves just a bit to his left to put one out on the board. So Sems quickly flies out. 2 pitches in, Fredrickson has his first out of the frame. I'm going to bring up Chad Stevens, who's 0 for 3. Stevens has struck out once. He's also flied out to right and grounded out to first. The offering, down low, 1 ball, no strikes. In fact, Stevens is the only guy in the lineup that doesn't have a hit for Wareham today. The gatemen in the ballgame have racked it up on offense. Pitch from Fredrickson, line drive over the head of Olsen into right field, and right on cue, the 9th Wareham gateman picks up a base hit in the scorebook. Stevens makes it 1 for 4. He shoots one into right field to make it 1 out and 1 on for Tora Otsuka out of San Diego. So Otsuka today, 2 for 3. An RBI single, also 2 runs scored. Fredrickson gets the sign. He works from the stretch. The runner gets a lead at first. Back pick to first, and he's called safe. Pretty close one over there. But the tag slapped down by DeSantolo just a bit late. Meanwhile, for the gatemen, they've picked up 15 hits so far today. They had 3 hits in the first, 5 in the second, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and now 1 here in the sixth off the bat of Stevens. The pitch to Otsuka, foul back. So these offenses have gone toe-to-toe so far in this ballgame. Wareham's had more of the advantage for the majority of the contest. Hyannis put up that 2 spot in the top of the first, but that 4-run inning for the gateman in the bottom of the second, and more so that 3 RBI triple from Jacob Teeter, is what really kind of anchored them to hold that lead down. Fredrickson throws over to first again, but back safely with a head-first dive, the runner Stevens. So we'll see how Hyannis responds. They have been known to rally over the last week or so. Fredrickson comes set, will take a big breath on the mound, delivers. Fastball misses just away. They put together that 5-run comeback, trailing 8-3 at Katuitt. They were also down 7-0 at Orleans. Came back, made it 7-5, which was the final score. Came back and took a lead on the Whitey Red Sox, even though they would eventually suffer that loss on the 4th of July. So the pitch misses down, it's 2-1. So if they were to mount a comeback tonight, much, much more doable than some of the ones they've put together over the last week or so. And for a gateman pitching staff that, once again, is right in the middle of the pack, 6th in ERA, 6th in batting average against, it's certainly a possibility for this offense. Pitch. This is outside. 3-1 to Otsuka. He's in search of reaching base for the 3rd time. But Hyannis has really swung the bats well over their last couple of ball games. Meanwhile, for Fredrickson, he'll take another breath, fires over to first again. DeSantolo makes the catch, but no tag applied. Wareham leads 8-5 in the bottom of the 6th. The only inning they haven't scored in this ballgame was the bottom of the 4th. Hyannis, meanwhile, has scored in every odd inning. 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 1 in the 5th. Fredrickson ready with the 3-1 offering. Ground ball right side, that's going to get through a base hit. Stevens stops at second, and Tora Otsuka makes it a 3-hit night for his Wareham ball club. His 3rd single as he stands at first. Braden Ward, the leadoff hitter, set to come to the plate, but this could be it for Patrick Fredrickson. As Chad Gassman walks out to the mound, signals to the bullpen, and it will end his night. So Fredrickson throws 3 1/3. His line's still open as he exits the ball game, as he'll leave with 2 runners on and 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. New reliever coming into the game. We'll have that for you on the other side of the break on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Braden Ward set to come to the plate, the leadoff man out of Washington, as the right-hander TJ Stewart on the mound for Hyannis, making his 2nd stint with the Harbor Hawks as he comes in with 2 runners aboard, 1 out. He fires home to Ward. It's a fastball down. The catcher, Adam Hackenberg, who's come in as a defensive replacement, makes the stop. And the count moves to 1-0. So TJ Stewart, right-hander out of Manhattan, set to come on and try to keep the score at bay. He's thrown 2 1/3 innings to this point. This is his 3rd appearance of the summer. Checks the runner at second, fires home. Check swing from Ward. And no appeal, so count's going to go to 2-0. Looked like it was pretty close to a swing. Now Stewart's asking for an appeal. And he's asking again, saying check. Now they're going to appeal down, says he doesn't go, and I don't blame Stewart. Ward looked like it was pretty close to a full swing, but they say that he does not go around. Now he's ready to 2-0. Fastball good for a strike. So Stewart, in those 2 1/3 innings, has given up 4 earned runs, hasn't walked anybody, struck out 3. He's actually faced these gatemen once before. That came back on June the 15th at home. He threw a scoreless inning at Katuitt. That was his one other appearance. But he got knocked around a little bit by the Wareham offense the last time out as that breaking ball gets away from the catcher, Hackenberg. Both runners are going to advance 90 feet. Stevens moves up to third, Osuka to second, as the throwback from Hackenberg tips off the top of Stewart's glove, but there's not going to be any further advancement. So 2 aboard, both in scoring position. Count 3-1. And Braden Ward has already reached base 3 times today with a 2-for-3 evening. Stewart, the right-hander, is going to come set. He fires home, swinging a foul back. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count with 1 out. Wareham leading by 3. And TJ Stewart in search of his first strikeout of the night. Ward outside of the box. He takes a practice swing and resets. Julian playing in with the bag at third for Hyannis. DeSantillo more the same at first, the middle infield a bit back. Westberg behind the runner, Otsuka at second. Meanwhile, the second baseman Olsen pretty much straight up as the pitch is in. It's fouled away. So Hyannis once again sits 3 points behind the Wareham Gatemen. Or rather, 3 points behind the Bourne Braves. The Wareham Gatemen sit ahead of everybody in the West Division. Although it isn't by much, one more time. Falmouth trailing by just 2 points. Katuitt by 1 point. As Stewart stares in, shakes his head once at the catcher Adam Hackenberg, now gets a sign he likes. He's going to fire home the 3-2. Downstairs, he walks Ward. Ward is issued his second walk of the night. He moves up to first, and the bases are now loaded for Darren Baker. So that's the first walk that TJ Stewart's given up this summer. And now Baker the hitter. Darren's 2 for 4. Now the double play back intact. The infield moves in. And Stewart's going to continue to work out of the stretch. First pitch, good for a strike on a fastball. So if Hyannis can find a way to mount a comeback tonight, it could do them some dividends. The Braves losing by 5 in the bottom of the 8th. They trail Katuitt 7-2. So Katuitt try to weave their way into first place. They could use some help from Hyannis tonight. Pitch comes in from Stewart, it's down low. However, the Braves do end up losing. The worst that can happen to Hyannis is the point differential stays with 3. Once again, 2 points for a win, 1 for a tie, none for a loss. It's 8-5 Gateman in the bottom of the 6th. The base is loaded. Right-hander Stewart comes set, fires home. Ground ball on the infield. Jordan Westberg can't make the backhanded stop. It skips into left. 1 run scores. The back pick from Hoffer to third. Tag applied by Julian, and Otsuka's back safely. But Wareham plates their 9th run as Darren Baker slapped one to the left side. Westberg tried to come in on it, make a backhanded stop, but it just got under his glove and sailed into left. Now that'll bring up Jacob Teeter. Teeter, the 6th man to the plate this inning. He had that big 3 RBI triple earlier in the ballgame. So that's going to be ruled an E6 on Westberg. Stewart continuing to work out of the stretch. Fires home. Off speed, good for a strike. Still a fair-sized crowd at Wareham tonight. Some have made their way for the exits as nightfalls come around. The pitch to Teeter's taken for a strike. It's 0-2. But the right field bleachers, about half full. At least the first section of it. The far section from where we sit on the third base side, that's only about a quarter full. The left field bleachers just scattered with fans. The pitch, ground ball right side, gets foul. TJ Stewart was named a preseason third-team All-American at the start of the 2019 season. And in his campaign with Manhattan, he was second on the team in wins, ERA, innings pitched, and strikeouts. It's an 0-2 count to the hitter Jacob Teeter. Time's now going to be called. The infield's moved back. They're now going to try and settle for the double play. Stewart the 0-2. Swing and another foul. Teeter fighting off anything close to stay alive. He's already 2 for 4. the Gatemen as a whole, 16 hits on the night. It's only the bottom of the 6th inning. Teeter wiggles the bat just in front of his shoulder, now into his stance, feet just over shoulder width apart. Pitch, checks his swing, and appeal down to second does not go around. So a close call, but Teeter stays alive. And the count moves to 1-2. Oh, now he's going to be called out. The appeal down to second, the umpire said he did not go around, but the home plate umpire makes the call for himself, saying Teeter went around to punch out. So Stewart catches some nice help there. And now it'll bring up the hitter, Adrian Del Castillo. So the appeal was made down to second base. Of course, a 3-man umpiring crew, so there wasn't an exact angle down the third base line, but the umpire standing at second signaled both his hands outward, indicating that Teeter did not go around. As the pitch comes into the hitter, Del Castillo, it misses away. So that was the original call. Teeter was just outside the box, just trying to get ready and resetting for what he thought would be the next pitch of the at-bat. Then the home plate umpire said, no, he's out. He clenched his fist, saying he was struck out by T.J. Stewart. Now the 1-0 misses down, 2 balls, no strikes. The Teeter still appears to be shaking his head a bit about it in the dugout. The Wareham home dugout resides on the first base side, with the visiting dugout on the third base side. It's 2-0 with the bases loaded. 9-5 Wareham the score. Pitch, swinging a foul back off the glove of Hackenberg toward the screen. So Westberg and Olsen, the middle infield duo for Hyannis, playing just on the lip of the outfield. Del Castillo underhanding the bat out toward the mound a couple times. Now he'll call time. And he puts both his hands into the dirt. And now back to the handle of his bat as Stewart looks set to go with the 2-1. Fires home. Just outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. Again, Stewart just issued his first walk earlier in the inning. And it was his first walk of the summer as well, as it was given up to Braden Ward. He now stands at second. Otsuka at third, Ward at second, Darren Baker at first after reaching on the E6. 3-1. Misses outside, an RBI walk for Del Castillo. Otsuka scores from third. Everybody moves up 90 feet. And it's 10-5 Gateman in the bottom of the 6th. So Jacob Teeter, his 4th RBI tonight, and he didn't have to work too hard for that one. He stands at first, and now it'll bring up the catcher, Dallas Beaver. Otsuka scored 3 times tonight now. That's more than any Wareham player. Anthony Servidio's also scored 3 times for Hyannis. Now Stewart set to deal with the catcher, Beaver, who swings and fouls away the first pitch out of play. And this one has taken some time duration-wise, as 9:06 is the time here from Spillane Field. Start time was 6:32. We're only in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pitch from Stewart. Swing and a line drive out to right field. In comes McIntyre, closing speed. He makes the catch. So that ends the 6th frame. But Wareham adds an additional 2 runs to make it a 5-run advantage through 6 innings. For Wareham in the inning, 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, 3 left on. We'll go to the top of the 7th when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Jackson Olson, the new second baseman, digging into the left side for his first at bat as Tanner Bibby's back on the mound for the Wareham Gatemen. Fires the first pitch home. Fastball for a called strike. Olson taking the place of Anthony Servideo. His night ends after going 1 for 2, reached base all 3 times and scored 3 times. It's 10-5 Wareham. As Bibby fires home, Olson slaps one to the right side, and it's a fair ball past Teeter and into right field. Teeter can't believe it as Olson rounds the bag at first. He's thinking too. He stands up at second as the throw gets wide, but backed up by the left fielder Otsuka. And Jackson Olson comes into the game with a leadoff double in the top of the 7th inning.
Well, that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Hyannis in the top of the 7th inning. They find themselves trailing by 5, so it's some work to do. A great start for Jackson Olson, cold off the bench. He was in as a defensive replacement, but in his first at bat, paying dividends.
And manager Jerry Weinstein came out to the mound to have a couple words with the umpire. I think he was a little frustrated with that ball being ruled fair, but Olson standing up at second with the leadoff double will segue things to Trevor Hauver. Hauver today, 1 for 2, also with a sacrifice fly. Bibby out of the stretch of the offering, down low. Hauver with 2 RBIs today. Hunter Goodman also with 2 RBIs. He waits on deck. Hauver, one of 5 left-handed hitters in the order for Hyannis. Meanwhile, the righty Bibby checks the runner, comes home. Fastball brushes Hauver off the plate. It's 2-0. So once again, Jackson Olson really finding his stroke at the plate as of late. And he continues it with that double to lead off the 7th. Now the pitch from Bibby. Fastball just hits the outer black. It's 2-1. Olson came into the day hitting .283. And with that double right there, he's made it a 6-game hitting streak for him as we currently stand. Pitch, ground ball right side, under the glove of the third baseman Stevens into left field. Olson moves up to third, will stop right there. The throw cut off by the third baseman Stevens on the infield grass. And Trevor Hauver picks up his 2nd hit of the night, putting runners on the corners.
Well, right there, Hauver just doing the job going opposite field. Jackson Olson looked like he wanted to round third and head home, but the left fielder Otsuka cutting the ball off quickly and getting it back into the infield. The old men on the corners.
So Hyannis trailing by 5. And if they're in need of an RBI, which they are, they've got the right guy at the plate. In fact, it's the guy who, as we currently stand, leads the Cape League and runs batted in, Hunter Goodman. Right-handed hitter out of Memphis, set to face the Cal State Fullerton right fielder Bibby. Pitch, swinging a foul back out of play over the press box. The Goodman has been on some type of stretch. Once again, RBIs in 6 of his last 7 starts. He's got home runs in 2 of his last 3 appearances. And an absolute moonshot yesterday against Bourne. Bibby checks Hauver, now fires home. Fly ball, deep left center field. Back goes Otsuka. He's given chase, and it's off the top of the fence. Olson walks home from third. Hauver cruising around third. There's going to be no throw at the plate, and he scores standing up. Hunter Goodman, a 4 RBI day. He picks up his 3rd hit. It's a 2 RBI double to make it 10-7 Wareham in the top of the 7th.
Are you kidding me? Hunter Goodman. First, it's Jordan Westberg with the long ball. But Hunter Goodman racking up the RBIs in bunches as well. He picks up 2 more on a wall ball double. That one an absolute shot off the bat. I thought it had a chance to get out of here, but doing the job nonetheless off the top of the wall, clearing the bases, and Hunter sets himself up in scoring position as well.
That's now 9 RBIs for Goodman in his last 4 games. Jared DeSantolo now the hitter. Hyannis is back at work on offense in the top of the 7th, chipping away. As Bibby will step off the mound, Goodman gives half a step back toward the bag, but not all the way. So he stays with his leadoff. DeSantolo today, 1 for 3. He's got an RBI single. Pitch home from Bibby. Hits the bottom of the zone. It's strike 1. That RBI single for Jared came back in the top of the third. The left-handed hitter out of FAU watches the next offering for a called strike on the outer part of the plate. No balls, 2 strikes. Hunter Goodman stands at second. That was his 4th double of the summer, his 8th extra base hit. Now things are put back in play. DeSantillo into the box with an 0-2 count. Bat just above his back shoulder. Bibby checks Goodman twice, comes home. Swing and a miss from DeSantillo. First out of the top of the 7th recorded. As Tanner Bibby picks up a strikeout, as it'll segue things to Rowdy Jordan. Although this could be the end of his night, as Jerry Weinstein's making his way out to the mound. The Wareham bullpen resides beyond the right field fence, and there's banners covering it. So, no idea who's warming up. Nobody in the stands can see until, of course, they walk around the fence and enter the game. Bibby's night will end. He exits after throwing 3 1/3 innings. His line's still open with Goodman at second. And there will be a new Wareham reliever into the game when we come back on the other side of the break. It's the Gatemen 10, the Harbor Hawks 7 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back at Spillane Field in Wareham with 1 out, the score 10-7 Gatemen in the top of the 7th. Jerry Weinstein opts to bring in the right-hander Jeremy Williams out of Nova Southeastern. He'll face the Mississippi State Bulldog Rowdy Jordan. Righty fires home. Jordan takes it for a strike on a fastball. It's 0-1. So Jeremy Williams into the game. Tanner Bibby's line still open with Goodman at second. But for Williams, this is his 2nd appearance. He threw 2 scoreless against Orleans back on July the 5th. As that one misses down, the count evens at 1-1. So 2nd appearance. In that one outing, the 2 scoreless innings, didn't give up a hit, didn't give up a walk, struck out 2. Faced only 7 batters. Rowdy Jordan today 0 for 3 in search of his first hit. Pitch inside, brushes him off the plate, and the count moves to 2-1. Williams staring in at the hitter, Rowdy Jordan. Now he gets the sign from the catcher, Beaver. That pitch is tapped high into the air down the right side, fielded by the first baseman, Teeter. He steps on the bag. The Teeter moved to his left, fielded it cleanly, had his foot on the bag as the ball rolled into his glove. And that retires Rowdy Jordan, but a productive out as Hunter Goodman moves up to third. That'll bring up Edward Julian. He's yet to record a hit today, so maybe he's due. Goodman stands at third. Harbor Hawks trailing by 3. They could use another run to chip away here in the 7th. Pitch. Fastball for a called strike. Julian came into the day hitting .389 with 3 RBIs. He was 7 for his first 18. Now the offering, up high. 1 ball, 1 strike to the Auburn Tiger. Goodman stands at third with the Wareham infield playing back. Now the pitch. Breaking ball, called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. So if tonight's been any indication, Hyannis is probably going to score in every odd inning. 2 in the first, none in the second, 2 in the third, none in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, none in the sixth, now 2 in the 7th. Pitch to Julian, foul back. Wareham scored in every inning but the 4th. But Hyannis has plated runs in every odd inning so far in this game. The righty Williams comes set, fires home. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Julian goes down looking to end the top of the 7th. And Jeremy Williams strands Goodman at third after his 2 RBI double off Tanner Bibby earlier in the inning. So the Harbor Hawks now trail by just 3. In the inning, they put up 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 1 left on. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
TJ Stewart back to the mound for Hyannis in the bottom half of the 7th inning. The Gatemen make their way to the plate. They'll send up Matt McLean, Benjamin Sims, and Chad Stevens. Hometown Gatemen out in front 10-7 here from Spillane Field. This game is taking a bit lengthwise. We approach the 3-hour mark. Stewart fires in a high breaking ball to start off the inning. It's 1-0. And as McLean digs in, he's been aboard twice. Picked up 1 base hit, and that was in the 3rd inning. Walked in the 4th and struck out a pair of times. 1-0 pitch, a high fastball at about the shoulders. It's 2-0. TJ Stewart, as Lyle touched on a bit earlier, his 2nd stint with Hyannis on the summer of 2019. Making his 1st appearance of the 2nd time around against these Gatemen as he pumps in a fastball for a strike. Trying to battle back against McLean. It's 2-1. And Stewart entering this outing tonight. Hasn't walked anybody yet on the Cape this summer. 2-1, big cut and a miss from McLean. Swung through a big fastball on the outside part of the plate. Count levels at 2-2. This Gateman offense has exploded for 10 runs And a chance to try and tack on some more to put the nail in the coffin on these Harbor Hawks who have not gone quietly. McLean sends a 2-2 pitch in the air to short center field, falling fast and in front of Rowdy Jordan. So a base hit, McLean's digging two. Jordan fumbled it in center field for a bit, but the tag is going to be in time to get him as Westberg slapped it down. So McLean caught trying to stretch a single into a double. Jordan fumbled it a bit in center field as it bounced in front of him. He tried to barehand to pick it up as it bounced a bit to the right of where his glove was placed. But able to pick it up and gun down McLean at second base. So Stewart helped out a bit there. McLean being a bit over-aggressive. But one down in the inning for Benjamin Sems, who steps in from the left side. First pitch is a fastball that runs up and in. Now, Stewart in his first two appearances didn't work more than an inning and 2/3. Worked an inning and 1/3 against these Wareham Gatemen the first time around as Sems sends one foul up and over the left side. Bleachers out of play. So Stewart stands at 6'2", 220 out of Manhattan College. Made his way up to the Cape, gets a sign from Hackenberg and fires. Breaking ball over the top of it was Sems. Went down to a knee to try and get a piece of it. Came up empty. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Well, this Hyannis pitching staff has done a good job of avoiding any jams that Wareham has posted in this game. Wareham has stranded the bases loaded in back-to-back frames. Stewart comes home with a 1-2. High fastball with the letters. Sems watches it go by. And the count pulls even once again. Edward Julian a couple steps back of the bag at third. As Sems watches a 2-2 breaking ball outside. Appeal down to third. No go. So the count fills up on Sems, who's been aboard twice. Or rather, been aboard once and sent a long ball over the fence in right field. Picked himself up a pair of RBIs tonight as well. The payoff from Stewart. Fastball in there. Strike 3 called. He got him at the bottom of the zone. Stewart provides a paint job at the bottom of the zone at the knee level of Sems. He goes back to the dugout shaking his head. But he represents out number 2, and that'll bring up Chad Stevens. So TJ Stewart looking to face the minimum here in the bottom of the 7th and get his Hyannis bats back to the dish. An offense that has been led by the 2-3-4 hitters. As Stevens steps in and watches a fastball high and away from Stewart, it's 1-0. Stevens today didn't find his way aboard through the first 3 plate appearances, but singled in his last at bat as he cuts and misses through a fastball to even the count. TJ Stewart looking to record the first 1-2-3 inning that this Hyannis staff would be able to muster up against this Gateman lineup. Haven't been able to find one yet. Stewart winds and fires a 1-1. Breaking ball, Stevens sends it in the air to right center. Moving back, Jordan to his left, and he'll make the catch on the run, and that ends the inning. TJ Stewart makes his way off the mound, gives a slight fist bump as Rowdy Jordan tracks one down, moving toward the alley in right center. It's the Gateman 10, the Harbor Hawks 7, with the bats going back to the plate. This one's still not over by a long shot. We head to the top of the 8th on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Hyannis back to the plate in the top of the 8th inning. They trail things by 3 here from Spillane Field. Jeremy Williams, he's back to the mound for the Wareham Gatemen. Adam Hackenberg will step in for his first plate appearance of the night. It was a defensive replacement for catcher Chad McDaniel, who has since exited the ball game, and Hackenberg's foul tips the first pitch, fastball back into the glove of Beaver. It's 0-1. So Williams was able to escape any further damage Hyannis were posed in the top of the 7th inning. That inning started with 3 hits. Then retired the side in order. Struck out 2 in the frame as well. Count 1-1 to Adam Hackenberg. Fastball picks up the outside corner. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Williams brings the glove set at the letters. Comes home with a 1-2, a high fastball at the letters. Hackenberg with a hard take there, and the count pulls even. Hackenberg comes into the night in this at bat here in the 8th with a 267 average. Swings at a 2-2 and nubs it off the inside part of the bat. Right up off the mound, slightly to the left is Williams as he comes off the rubber to go get it. And Hackenberg is down for out number 1. That'll give Mitch McIntyre an opportunity. Mitch tonight's picked up a pair of base hits, 1 in the 2nd and 1 in the 6th, respectively. Sandwiched in between that, a bouncer to second base to Darren Baker. So nobody on, 1 down in the Hyannis half of the 8th inning. Mitch steps in from the left side, seeing Williams for the first time. First pitch is roped into the alley in left center. That's going to get down and roll all the way to the wall. Otsuka giving chase to it. McIntyre loses the helmet as he pulls up into second base with a 1-out double. And just like that, this Hyannis offense, another runner in scoring position. McIntyre took a pitch on the other half of the plate, sent it into the alley in left center, and cruises into second with a double. So McIntyre's made it a 3-hit night out of the number 9 spot in the lineup. He came into tonight at 175. That average has now risen to 227 with the 3-hit performance. And speaking of 3-hit performances, in steps Jordan Westberg looking to pick up his 3rd knock. He takes a breaking ball inside a called strike. Well, for Hyannis, currently trying to battle back against this Wareham Gateman squad. But they'll have a much-needed off day tomorrow. Playing 3 games in 2 days this weekend. 0-1 to Westberg. That's in for a strike. Fastball on the outside corner, a good one from Williams. He's got Westberg down in a 2-strike count. Westberg 9 for his first 14 here on Cape Cod this summer. He's been a force to be reckoned with at the top of the order for Chad Gassman as a fastball runs outside. Beaver had to come out of the crouch. Caught it on the backhand, spun him all the way around behind the plate. Westberg looking to pick up an RBI. He's got McIntyre 180 feet away from doing that. The 1-2 from Williams. Fastball swung on, popped up right side out of play. And for Westberg, we talked about the power stroke often last night, as he has 3 home runs and as many completed games. That's already half his total from what he put up with the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Williams checks McIntyre at second, comes home. Westberg sends one in the air to center. Coming on strong, the center fielder Ward dives, and he can't make the catch. It trickles off the glove in front of him. McIntyre scampers up to the bag at third, and Westberg trots down to first. He's got himself his 3rd hit of the night. All this guy does is hit. I mean, this is unbelievable. The 10th hit of the summer for Jordan Westberg. 10 for his first 15. And that advances McIntyre 90 feet away from making this a 2-run ball game. So 2 on and 1 out now for Jackson Olsen, who steps in. He had himself a double in his first plate appearance as he came on to pinch hit. He was defensive replacement for second baseman Anthony Servideo earlier on in the ball game. And now time is called as Wareham manager Jerry Weinstein has perhaps seen enough of Williams tonight. Weinstein makes his way out to the mound with the catcher Beaver, as well as the rest of the infield who will join in on the conference. Weinstein hasn't made a motion to the bullpen yet. Just a brief conversation for the moment. But Jackson Olsen will be the hitter when action resumes here in the 8th inning. Again, the score 10-7. The Gatemen with the advantage right now at Spillane Field. But this Hyannis offense, again, comes storming back time and time again throughout the ball game, picking up key hits when necessary. But Weinstein is going to retreat back to the dugout. Williams is going to stay in the game. Hyannis has used 3 arms. Williams is Wareham's 3rd arm. He's going to stay in the game and face the left-handed hitting Jackson Olsen. McIntyre 90 feet away from Hyannis' 8th run of the game at 3rd. Jordan Westberg across the diamond at first base. He's got 10 hits on the summer. He just picked up his 3rd of the night. A 3-for-5 performance for Westberg out of the leadoff spot. And now Jackson Olsen trying to pick up an RBI. First pitch to Jackson misses away with a fastball. It's 1-0. Olsen 1 for 1 tonight. Matter of fact, combined with him and Servideo in the 2 spot, they've been aboard all 4 times they've been to the plate as a fastball miss from Williams outside. 2 balls, no strikes to Jackson. Olsen this season has picked up 5 RBIs to his name. 2-0 pitch. He sends one in the air down the left side. That's tailing foul by the goalpost in left field. It'll get out of play. And I guess you could say in football terms, the kick is good. That one tailed through the goalpost down in left field. McIntyre back to 3rd. Westberg off of 1st now. 2 balls and a strike to the left-handed hitting second baseman Jackson Olsen. Williams winds and fires. Fastball inside, 3-1. Jackson's picked up 13 hits and 46 plate appearances so far. Hartford infielder trying to rack up his 6th ribby of the season as he swings and fouls one straight back off the fencing. So the count fills up to Olsen 3-2 with 1 down in the 8th. Again, a couple runners aboard for Hyannis as Williams stares down at Beaver for a sign. Right-hander comes set, the payoff pitch. Fastball, Olsen swings and sends it a high, towering fly in the air towards center. Ward coming on strong again, looking up into the lights. He'll make the catch. Tagging from 3rd, trying to score is McIntyre. The throw to the plate is not going to be in time. He slides under the tag. Jackson Olsen lifts a sac fly to center field, and that cuts the deficit down to 2. It's now 10-8 Gatemen. So Olsen picks up his 6th RBI of the season. That'll bring up Trevor Hauver with still a runner aboard at 1st, but 2 down in the inning. Braden Ward has had a tough couple of plays in center field. He dove to try and take away a single from Jordan Westberg. He came up short on that. And had a long way to come as he was playing deep and a bit shaded to the right of the second base bag from Jackson Olsen as a throw to 3rd base, indicating that Wareham thinks Mitch McIntyre might have left 3rd base a bit early. But the call was safe, and Hauver steps in from the left side with 2 down. Pickoff attempt at 1st. Sliding the hand back in is Jordan Westberg under the tag. It looks like we have a pause in the action now as Braden Ward has made his way out toward left center field. The ball is trickled on the field of play through the Hyannis bullpen. The Ward goes and returns it. And Williams takes his place back on the rubber. Hauver waves the bat out toward the right-hander a couple times. A look back toward Westberg at 1st from Williams. Now comes home. Fastball, that's in for a strike to Hauver. It's 0-1. And for Trevor on the night, he's picked up a pair of hits as well as a couple of RBIs. 2 for 3 to this point with a sac fly. That one came to right field. Another throw back to 1st base in safely. Westberg under the tag of the first baseman Teeter. Now Hyannis trying to mount another comeback here in the 8th inning. Wareham has taken both contests from Hyannis so far in 2019. Called strike on the inside corner to Hauver. It's 0-2. Williams has put himself 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning, avoiding any more Hyannis trouble. This top of the order for Hyannis has paid dividends tonight as Havers picked up a couple RBIs. Westberg has himself a 3-hit night. Servideo and Olsen combined in the 2 spot have been aboard 5 of the 8 times that the 2 of them had been to the plate. Jackson Olsen picking up the RBI on the sac fly to center. The Wareham catcher Beaver had come out of his crouch behind the plate to have a word with his right-hander on the mound, Williams. It was a short conference. Now he's back behind the plate as Havers steps in again. And Williams has an 0-2 count against Trevor. Winds and deals the pitch. Fastball low. Trevor working a tough at bat here with 2 strikes. He's got a 1-2 count, 2 down. Runner aboard over at first in Jordan Westberg. Hyannis trying to rally here in the late innings. Top of the 8th from Spillane. The 1-2. Fastball, ground ball, picked up by Teeter on the backhand. He'll tag the bag himself. It was a hot shot from Haver off the bat, but that ends the top of the 8th. Hyannis brings 1 in to score. It was Mitch McIntyre on the sac fly from Jackson Olsen, and the lead has been cut down to 2. Hyannis trying to shut down Wareham in the bottom of the 8th when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We bring you back to Spillane Field for action in the bottom of the 8th. Chad Gassman opts to turn to his 4th arm out of the bullpen tonight. It's the right-hander from Northeastern, Kyle Murphy. Murphy making his 5th appearance of the summer for manager Chad Gassman at Hyannis. Made 1 start on the summer as well. He's tossed 8 2/3 innings, struck out 6, walked 5, and surrendered 11 hits in the process. In steps the number 9-man Tora Otsuka to start off the bottom of the 8th for Wareham. It's a fastball low as Otsuka showed bunt but pulled back. It's a ball and no strikes. So Murphy, the Northeastern Husky, glove set at the chest and into the windup, fires a 1-0. Fastball right down Main Street, a called strike to even the count. Well, Murphy comes on in relief of TJ Stewart here in the bottom of the 8th. TJ worked his longest outing of the summer. Had already seen Wareham once. He went an inning and a third in that contest. Fastball runs a bit low. Otsuka thought about going around instead, pulled back. It's 2-1. This time around against Wareham at Spillane, Stewart worked an inning and 2/3. Gave up just 1 hit, no runs, walked 2 and struck out 2. Murphy comes home with a 2-1. Big swing and a miss from Otsuka as he goes down to a knee. And the count levels 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Murphy on in relief, trying to shut down the gateman bats and give Hyannis one last hope at the plate in the top of the 9th. 2-2 pitch. Inside, and that ran in and got Otsuka off the back. So Murphy comes on and plunks the number 9-man, and that'll turn things back over to the top of the lineup card for Braden Ward. And Ward's had himself quite the day. A pair of singles and a pair of walks to go with it. The 2-for-3 performance with 2 walks. And a runner aboard and nobody down to start things for Wareham in the bottom of the 8th inning. And command was a bit of an issue for Murphy in his season at Northeastern as well. Gave up 35 walks. He fires a high fastball to Braden Ward. It's 1-0. Those 35 walks coming in 67 2/3 innings. Struck out 66, but an ERA above 4.5 at 4.66. Murphy spins in a high throw back to DeSantelo. No tag applied as Otsuka slides in head first. Edward Julian has crept in considerably on the infield grass, perhaps expecting bunt from the left-handed hitting Ward. Murphy set, kicks and fires a 1-0. Ward swings away and fouls it straight back up and over the press box. A ball and a strike as Murphy rubs out a new baseball. Wareham's trying to play some small ball tonight. We've seen him drop down a few bunts, or at least attempt to. This sacrifice situation would make sense to push a runner in scoring position with nobody away and try and get another insurance run on Hyannis as Murphy fires back over in safely the runner Otsuka. Now Murphy a deep breath as he retoes the rubber. He's got a 1-1 count against the leadoff man, Braden Ward. Murphy comes home, high fastball up and away. Count runs to 2-1. And for Ward in the game, came into tonight at 318, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs. Picked up a couple of base hits over the course of tonight's ball game. That average has risen up to 333. So the first 3 men at 325 or better in this Wareham lineup as Ward swings and sends one off the school building out of play. Just behind where we currently sit on top of the third base dugout, a bit behind us. Talked about the unfamiliarity of Spillane Field to many of these players. The gravel infield being the biggest predator. Ground balls come off the gravel, of course, a lot differently than they do dirt at the home confines of McKeon Park here for these Harbor Hawks. 2-2 the count to Braden Ward as he stepped back in from the left side. Otsuka a short lead off first as Murphy comes set. 2-2 pitch, a chopper over the mound. Westberg plays it on in between. Hop goes to second for 1. No return throw back to first as Ward was hustling down the line. Now Westberg flipped to Olsen for 1 out. They got the lead runner. That was Otsuka, so he's erased. But Ward trading spots with Tora down at first base as he reaches on the fielder's choice. So in steps Darren Baker, who's also had himself a 3-hit day. Was a strikeout victim in the first inning. Racked up back-to-back singles in the second and third innings and piled on 1 more in the 6th. So he bats here with 1 on 1 out. Starting to stop at first from the runner Ward as Baker takes a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Been a calm night from Spillane Field all night here from Wareham. It's been a beautiful day and evening for baseball. Hyannis trying to make the scoreboard look a bit more pretty as they trail 10-8. Wareham bats in the bottom of the 8th inning. Hyannis will have their last cracks in the top of the 9th. Kyle Murphy trying to make sure the score stays at bay, at least for now. 0-1, ripped back up the middle. That's past Olsen into center for a base hit. Moving up to second base, Braden Ward, and aboard for the 4th time tonight, Darren Baker. He's got himself a 4-hit day. So Darren Baker, 4 for 6 on the night, and that'll transition things to Jacob Teeter out of the number 3 spot. Now Teeter, of course, a 2-hit night, 2 for 5 to this point, stepping in for the 6th time. Had a single in the first inning as part of a 3-hit frame. Not the first time the Wareham team came to the plate. He had a bases clearing triple to rack up 3 RBIs in the second inning, and he's got a chance for a 4th here with the runner at second. And he watches the first pitch fastball in the inside corner for a strike. This Hyannis team battling back and forth with the first place Gateman. They'll have an off day on Monday tomorrow, and then return back home to McKeon Park on Tuesday to take on the third-place Falmouth Commodores. So another big divisional matchup as Murphy comes home with an 0-1. As the breaking ball bounces off the chest protector of Hackenberg. Both runners are going to advance 90 feet and into scoring position. So Ward up to third, Baker up to second base. Still just one out in the inning, so that erases any double play hopes that Murphy perhaps had. So Teeter, an opportunity to bring home a couple more and extend this Wareham lead out to 4, and that would be huge for this Gateman ball club. John Gassman opts to pull the infield in with the 1-1 count. Breaking ball called strike 2. So Murphy in desperate need of a punch out here. He's racked up 6 on the summer, and he would love nothing more than to punch out his 7th right here. Time called at the plate as Teeter takes a step out of the box. And for Wareham, the first 3 in the lineup, including the man at the plate, Jacob Teeter, up over 330 as he swings and bounces one past the glove of Olsen into right center, a base hit. One runs into score, rounding third right behind Ward is Darren Baker. He crosses the plate to score. And it's an 2 RBI single off the bat of Jacob Teeter, make it 12-8 Wareham. A 5 RBI night for the Wareham first baseman, Jacob Teeter. It plates Braden Ward and Darren Baker. And that'll bring up Adrian Del Castillo, the Miami Hurricane. It was an inside fastball to Teeter. He just punched it through the right side. Murphy fires a fastball to Del Castillo in for a strike. So this Wareham offense, we talked about it earlier on in the game. First in the league in hits coming into tonight. 4th in runs. Breaking ball misses down to Del Castillo. It's 1-1. But this Wareham offense, again, 3rd in RBIs as well. 1st in team average. 4th in on-base percentage. So top 5 in most of the major categories you look at. Murphy set. The 1-1 comes home. Fastball that runs upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. The left-handed hitting Gateman DH. Jacob Teeter's gotten himself aboard 3 times. He currently stands at first base. A couple of singles and a triple. Murphy fires a 2-1. Cut and a miss from the hitter Del Castillo. It's 2-2. Murphy ran a fastball up the ladder again. Got Del Castillo to offer at it. He came up empty as he rubbed some dirt on the batting gloves. He steps back in with a 2-strike count and 1 out. Murphy's 2-2. Fastball cut and a miss, strike 3. So Del Castillo fans for the first time tonight. Murphy picks up his 7th strikeout of the summer, and with 2 down, that'll bring in Dallas Beaver. And Beaver's already had himself a pretty sterling night. Been aboard twice. A 1-for-4 performance all told, but a pair of RBIs to go with it. It seems like every single hitter that steps in for the Gateman has the ability to at least put one in the gap and rack up a few RBIs as Beaver waves and misses through a fastball. It's 0-1. Wareham offense, 12 runs on 19 hits. And the opposition, Hyannis, 8 runs on 14 hits with their last ups coming in the top of the 9th. Beaver swings and sends one in the air to shallow center. Moving back westward, coming in Rowdy Jordan, and it will be Jordan to call off the shortstop and make the grab to end the inning. So a strikeout of Del Castillo and a flyout from Beaver ends the inning, but Wareham plates 2 more on the RBI single from Jacob Teeter. They've stretched the lead out to 12-8. Hyannis coming back to the dish in the top of the 9th one for their last ups when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Top of the ninth inning as Hyannis makes their way up to the plate for their last cuts of the ball game. Wareham on top 12-8. Hunter Goodman starts things off for Hyannis in the frame. New pitcher on for Wareham, it's Ben Leeper as he fires a big fastball past Hunter Goodman, who waves and misses past it. It's 0-1. Ben Leeper out of the bullpen for manager Jerry Weinstein, and making his 5th appearance in a Gateman uniform on the summer of 2019. 0-1. Goodman swings and sends it through the left side into left for a base hit. Goodman rounds first to start off the ninth inning. He's aboard with a single. And make it a 4-hit evening for Hunter Goodman. Just an unbelievable display from the Memphis Tiger tonight. He's aboard to lead off the frame.
Yeah, what a day he's had. I mean, 4 RBIs, now 4 hits, his 3rd single of the game, and he gets something going in the 9th.
Well, that's just the 4th hit of the summer surrendered by the right-hander out of Oklahoma State, Leeper. Here's Jared DeSantolo, who also has picked up a hit tonight, looking for his 2nd. First pitch from Leeper. Fastball cut on and fouled straight back. DeSantolo, all things considered for how well he's hit, he came into tonight 2nd in the league in average. Has been kept quiet for the most part. Had an RBI single in the 3rd, but since he's 0 for 2. Bounced one to 2nd in the 5th inning and struck out in the 7th. Goodman, a pretty sizable lead at first, not being held on by Teeter. Fastball upstairs to DeSantolo, the count evens. And Hyannis has been known for their late game rallies on offense. Really have one more left in them here on the road at Spillane Field against these first place Gatemen. 1-1 from Leeper, misses down and away. 2-1 the count to DeSantolo. Roundy Jordan set to follow Jared. He's in the on-deck circle. Hunter Goodman started this inning off with a single through the left side. The 2-1 to Jared. Swung on, popped up left side, drifting back toward the school building out of play. And for Hyannis, they've put up at least 1 run in each of the last 2 trips to the plate. 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th. And in order to extend this ball game to the bottom of the 9th, they need at least 4. So a tall task to ask, but a lineup that has certainly been swinging the bats well enough to do it. Leeper comes home with a 2-2. DeSantolo swings and grounds one left side. Going to be a tough play for the third baseman Stevens. Throw across the diamond. A pick attempt by Teeter. It's out of the glove back toward the mound. Goodman scampers from 2nd to 3rd as the ball still has not been retrieved. Teeter now goes in to get it. But both runners are going to be safe as Goodman 90 feet away from making this a 3-run ball game. And a single for Jared DeSantolo. That's his 2nd of the night.
Well, they've got something going here. I mean, trailing by 4, you're not going to get it back all at once. Just got to go at bat by a bat, but they're off to the right start here as DeSantolo slapped one to the left side. That would have been an unbelievable play from Stevens. The fact that he backhanded it in foul ground and made a throw on line to first base was impressive enough. And a good stretch by Teeter on the other end. He just couldn't quite scoop it out of the dirt.
So DeSantolo aboard at first, having a bit of a laugh with Teeter over at first base, probably about the last play, perhaps. Hunter Goodman across the diamond at 3rd, and Roundy Jordan about to step into the left-handed batter's box. 2 on, nobody down, top of the 9th from Spillane Field. The hometown Gatemen on top by 4, 12-8. This has been another offensive slugfest tonight as Jordan swings and misses through a fastball. It's 0-1. And Jordan tonight, one of 3 members, or 4 members to be exact, in this Hyannis lineup not to reach base, if you include Adam Hackenberg, who came in for a pinch hit appearance in the 8th. Leeper's 0-1. Breaking ball in the dirt, cut on a miss by Jordan, who was down in the dirt. Jordan's quickly behind, no balls, 2 strikes. Leeper struck out 5 on his summer so far. He's only gone 4 2/3, but has racked up a save for this Wareham ball club. Not a save situation right now, though, but he is still trying to slam the door on this Hyannis offense. The 0-2, cut and a miss, strike 3. Jordan goes down swinging. Second strikeout of the night as Jordan goes back to the bench representing out number 1. That'll bring up Edward Julian.
Well, Leeper just leaves that fastball high. Some good zip on it as well. Jordan just couldn't quite catch up with it.
So Hyannis has 2 outs to play with. As Edward Julian steps in, he's 0 for 4 tonight. Trying to change his fortunes right here and bring Hunter Goodman home from third to start the comeback. First pitch from Leeper, big fastball down and away. And in this ball game tonight, 35 hits recorded between the two teams. 19 for Wareham, 16 for Hyannis, and a chance for more here in the ninth. Julian has not been a part of those 16 hits. He's looking to add one to that total right here. 1-0 comes home. DeSantelo takes off for second. Pitch was low in the dirt. Beaver couldn't scoop it out of the dust as DeSantelo advances up into scoring position. Now Edward Julian with a chance if he can poke one through to the outfield to rack up 2 RBIs and make this a bit more interesting. He does have 3 on the summer already. Leeper comes home with a 2-0. Julian swings and sends a deep fly ball to right center field, sending McLean back to the wall. He can't get it. He dives and misses it. Goodman trots home. DeSantelo being waved around right behind him as Julian trots into second with a 2 RBI double. It's 12-10.
Well, they're not done yet. Julian smokes one into the gap. McLean gave it a good chase, a diving effort, but just out of the reach of his glove. And just like that, tying run comes to the plate with Adam Hackenberg in the ninth.
And what a guy to send up to the plate right after Edward Julian smoked one. Adam Hackenberg. Hackenberg's got 2 home runs on the summer. Trying to square up Leeper here with the runner in scoring position. That's Julian. So Hackenberg comes up in a big opportunity with 1 down and 1 on for Hyannis. First pitch from Leeper on the way. Big swing and a miss through a high fastball. Adam Hackenberg came on defensively for Chad McDaniel, who exited the ball game in the 7th. That 1 at bat, he sent a little blooper off the mound. Trying to square one up the second time around as he watches a 0-1 fastball by the shoot tops to even the count of ball and a strike. Adam 8 for his first 30 here on Cape Cod. Two home runs and 5 RBIs, looking for his 6th as the 1-1 comes home, swings and misses over the top of an off-speed pitch. Hyannis not making things easy for Wareham to close this one down. A 2 RBI from the man standing at second base. Edward Julian to cut it to 12-10. Leeper kicks and fires a 1-2. Fouled off. Hackenberg pleading his case for a tip. The tag applied from Beaver, and that's strike 3. Now Hackenberg convinced he got a piece of that one, but the home plate umpire thought otherwise. So Hackenberg down for the second out. And now the last hope rests on the shoulders of the BYU right fielder, Mitch McIntyre. But if you're looking for a man to extend the game, this is one of the bats you'd probably have in mind tonight. A 3-hit performance, 3 for 4 for Mitch, as he steps in a clutch moment with 2 down. First pitch to him, breaking ball low in the dirt. Mitch on the season, with runners in scoring position, has not racked up a hit in 6 at-bats. There would not be a better time for him to rack up his first than right now. 1-0 pitch, fastball in the dirt, 2 balls, no strikes. Wareham trying to hang on for their 12th win of the season and extend their first place lead just a bit. And Hyannis knocking at the door here in the 9th inning as McIntyre stands in with a 2-0 count. Leeper gets a sign from Beaver, now comes set. Kicks and fires. 2-0 in the dirt again. 3 balls, no strikes. McIntyre perhaps taking all the way on this next 3-0 offering. Leeper's only walked 4. His 3-0 pitch. Fastball at the knees, a called strike. Chad Gaspin giving signs to his BYU outfielder as he steps out of the box to adjust the gloves. This one's been a long but entertaining ball game throughout. Runs going up on the board left and right for both sides. Leaper set is 3-1 to Mitch. In the dirt, it gets past the catcher Beaver, advancing up to third, Edward Julian. He'll stop there. McIntyre draws the walk. He's down to first. And the game being extended, and that'll give Jordan Westberg a chance.
Well, not good for Lemur. A 5-pitch walk to McIntyre. It not only extends the game, but now you're going to have to go through Jordan Westberg. He's already 3 for 5 today. 3 singles. And he's got an RBI opportunity at hand.
Now Jordan Westberg, the power threat at the top of the lineup for Hyannis. Edward Julian at third. Across the diamond, Mitch McIntyre at first. Leaper comes home. Fastball inside, a called strike. So Jordan Westberg has been aboard 3 times tonight. A 3 for 5 performance. And time is called as a look down the left field line, and Chad Gassman signaling to his bullpen, you can't wave the foul pole down in left field. The Hyannis bullpen playing a bit of trickery down the left field line as Westberg deals it with an 0-1 count, a breaking ball in the dirt, knocked down by Beaver.
I think that's Patrick Fredrickson. I can't tell for sure, but looks like him.
I have to say that is a first. I've never seen action called because of a foul pole being moved. The Leaper comes set with a 1-1. Runners on the corners, 2 down. Here's the pitch. Westberg thought about going around, but takes the breaking ball down and away. Appeal down to first, but no swing. He wasn't even close. So 2 balls and a strike to the Mississippi State Bulldog, Westberg. Jordan was 7 for his first 10 coming into tonight. He's picked up 3 more hits, bringing his total up to 10 and in search of his 11th here in the 9th. The 2-1. Fastball low, 3-1. This is the hitter's count Westberg was looking for. Perhaps in the biggest moment of the ball game, teammate Edward Julian clapping his hands down at third with a 3-1 count and 2 away. Leaper comes set his pitch. Swung on his, popped up in the air to left center. Ranging back, the shortstop Sems onto the outfield grass. He makes the catch, and the Gatemen win the ball game. Westberg just got under a 3-1 fastball that time. Sems retreated back onto the outfield grass, makes the catch, and the Wareham Gatemen hang on for their 12th win of the season. They pick up points 24 and 25 and maintain the lead in the Western Division. 12-10 the final score, as this one was an offensive slugfest throughout, Lyle.
Yeah, it absolutely was. 22 runs between the combined ball clubs. And it was just a Wareham Gateman 4-run second inning that really kind of shot him out to holding the lead for most of the game. But Hyannis was chipping away and away and away all game long, just couldn't quite close it out. They had about as good of a situation as you could ask for here there in the 9th. 2 on with Jordan Westberg at the plate, but obviously he can't get a hit every single time he comes to the plate. That's, of course, just unrealistic. So he pops up to end the game. Hyannis, offensively as a whole, was really outstanding tonight. Again, 10 runs on what was 19 hits. So they did their job. It was just, or rather, that was Wareham that had 19 hits. For Hyannis, so Wareham really, really potent on offense. Hyannis, 10 runs on what was 17 hits. So just a tad less, but still a lot of good things to take away. Just tough outing from the pitching staff tonight.
And Trevor DeLate, the starter tonight for Hyannis, not the debut he was hoping for. He went 3+ in the ball game, surrendered 10 hits, 7 earned runs, didn't walk anybody, but struck out 2 in the process as well. But Wareham tied him up nicely in the bullpen, came in and held serve. Patrick Fredrickson went 3 1/3. He gave up 3 runs, but only 2 earned. TJ Stewart came in for his 3rd appearance. He held down the fort, but ultimately the Gatemen just too strong offensively tonight. One last time, the final line score for each side. For the victory, Wareham Gatemen, 12 runs on 19 hits and 1 error. And the Harbor Hawks, who fell in this one, put up 10 runs on 17 hits and surrendered 2 errors. So Hyannis putting their 6th win on hold for a while. They'll be off tomorrow night before returning home to McKeon Park to take on the Falmouth Commodores. That's on Tuesday. So join us then. But for now, for Brendan Howe and Lyle Goldstein, signing off, we thank you so much for joining us tonight from Spillane Field. Once again, the Wareham Gatemen take this one 12-10. Join us on Tuesday from McKeon Park. We'll talk to you then.